Today has been a day so far. At least as far as streams go. I am so out of this. Holy moly. I didn't even launch the game, so I gotta get that ready. Still. I still have to do my going live notifications everywhere. Oh, Jesus. This is just something. Alrighty then. Let's start with Discord. We'll send the notification on Discord. Notify crew. Lilly. It's Lilly time. Hell yeah. Boop. There we go. Now let's go to the other social medias. Post that.
I got points so fury Lilly.
Free Lilly feet? No, free Lilly yeet. All right. As you can see, the dual chat, the Twitch chat's working. I don't really like the colors of it though. I don't know if I can change that, but we'll worry about that later. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, okay. Okay, well. The next thing to set up. Of course. I have points now. You won't be able to stop me, alright? I won't. But, you know what you can do now? You know what you can do now that you've never been able to do before? Stern? Well, why don't I show you? Assuming it works, I don't think I actually tested it very well. Yeah, it works. Oh, I forgot to update Nightbot with the new command. Oops. Ah, well. Botrix... What? Shut up, Botrix. You're just supposed to be here for the chat. You stupid bot! Commands. You don't even have any commands! You don't have any timers either! How are you talking? What? Huh? I don't even understand. Why is it doing that? It shouldn't be doing that. Why is it doing that? I don't have it. I don't have it. It's not supposed to be. Why is it? How much for the throw? It should just be. Did I make it 500 or 1,000? It's 500. That's a lot cheaper than I thought it was, not gonna lie. That's like way cheaper than I thought it was gonna be, actually. Yeah, what is that link that it just posts to even take you to? Commands of Orange, blank page, awesome. Yes, because today is National Throw Short People Day, so you can throw Angie. You're welcome. So yeah, now you can throw Angie. You can bully Angie if you really want it. I'm allowing it. I like how you went and tested how much it costs instead of taking my word for it when I can literally open up the application where I have that all configured and see the point cost. I can literally just read it. 500, it says it right there. You didn't believe me. You thought I was lying to you. You have no faith in me. But you should. Have I ever been untrustworthy to you? Have I ever? I don't think so. I don't think I've ever been untrustworthy. In other news, I have some other good news.
Bullying Angie? Never. Bullying a hack that hates carrots? Yes. And I will never trust PPL who hates carrots.
Yeah. Get your carrots out of the system. Anyway, today I finally finished the first draft of the draft run scripts. Oh god. I'll do once over of it, readjust it, read it, and then it's a matter of the fun part, editing it all together. That's still gonna take a while. That video's still a ways out, unfortunately. We still got more Limbus in the pipeline. Reminds me, I don't know, did I ever the editor? Oh god, I never responded to him. He emailed, or not emailed. He messaged me a while ago. Oh god. Can't wait to make the bell ring with innuendos. Oh my god. I don't know how to deal with you people. You're all just the worst. Just the worst, all of yous. I'm gonna put a quick note here. There. Let me just go ahead and pin that. There. Cool. Okie dokie. Let's head over. Let's change scenes because I gotta edit it a bit more to get Katawa Shoujo working. Because I didn't do it in advance. Boop. There we go. Now the fun part is that Katawa Shoujo doesn't always show up. It sometimes just... I have it selected on the source. It may or may not show up. Sometimes in the past I've had to like restart the game or restart OBS, which will be interesting. Come on, Katawa Shoujo, show up. Maybe if I full screen it and unfull screen it, that'll do it. That did it. Look at me, aren't I smart? And there we go. We've set it up. I gotta change the chat though, now that the other one's actually working. Now that the dual stream chat is already actually working for once. X'd out. Yeah, you know what? That's fair. Alright, let's continue. We have, I don't remember. Oh, it's probably this one. Yeah, it's this one. 629, that doesn't seem right. I guess it is right, though. I did save last time, right? Let me just do a quick check through. Okay, yeah, no. We didn't do this yet. Let's get the music out of the way. There we go. Alright. At least I don't think I've read this, so... We're gonna continue, shall we? Alright. Time for more Katawa Shoujo. Let us begin. Make the game louder. Okay, sure. It is a pretty quiet game comparatively. That should be good. Let me know if it's too loud or too quiet still. I don't think it's too quiet still, but... Louder! I can't tell if you're serious or just saying that. Like, I want to sound good. You know? Well, I'm gonna assume you're joking and continue anyway. Alright. Much of the morning's been taken up by a droning lecture on stoichiometry, whatever the a topic entirely unbefitting of the insufferable heat permeating the classroom. Knowing that attempting to teach anything more would be an exercise in futility, Muto gives up and begins clearing the teaching materials from his desk for the day. As meaningless banter starts filling the classroom, I notice Hanako getting up and coming to my desk. She's been a lot less withdrawn lately, something which gives me a small measure of satisfaction. Hello, Hisao. Hey, you want to go pick up Lily? Then? It's close to the time when she needs to get going if she's going to make the flight. About that. She said she might be held up a bit by her classmates. I suppose that makes sense. Her class usually gets off a little earlier than ours, so Lily would normally have just come to our classroom. Her class must be sending her off. Well, never mind. We can just wait outside her classroom for once, right? She gives a small giggle before nodding, the two of us taking our things and leaving for 3-2's classroom. When we reach our destination, I stop in idle amusement at the scene inside. One of the shorter girls in the class has Lily wrapped in an enthusiastic hug, her head no higher than Lily's chin. Her other friends, of which there are several, are gathered around her as well. Lily simply smiles kindly and hugs her back. Aww. I guess Lily must be pretty popular. Compared to Shizune's harsh but fair dictatorship of 3-3, Lily seems more like a mother figure for 3-2, to say nothing of her height and looks. Kenji's pointedly cool demeanor as he packs up his things at his seat in the back corner of the classroom is expected. We just mentioned Lily and that's enough for you, huh? He's no doubt far from a fan of the fuss being made about Lily's leaving. Looking beside me and seeing Hanako following my gaze, I decide to finally enter the room. Afternoon, Lily. It's just me and Hanako. Hanako withers noticeably when exposed to the din being made around Lily. Try as she might, I doubt she'll ever completely get over her social anxiety. Hello. Lily manages to work out our position reasonably well, her classmates detaching herself without a second word. A look of slight exasperation is written on Lily's face, though I can't say I blame her. Hello, Hisao, Hanako. Do we have much time before the flight leaves? I give a quick glance at my watch. Taking the trip to the airport into account, there's a good 10, maybe 15 minutes left while still allowing for contingencies. Yeah, we still have a few minutes to kill. I wouldn't worry about missing it yet. Don't burn her like that, please. No. Is this Hanako? Uh-oh, I think we've just inadvertently become entangled in Lily's social web. The girl is probably part of the legally blind faction of the class like Kenji, given her almost window pane-like spectacles. Her short, roughly cut hair gives her a look that fits her excitable expression. Hello, She takes Hanako's hand and pulls it up and down enthusiastically. I really don't get how girls can be so social to someone they only know as the friend of a friend. While Hanako exchanges nervous greetings, I look around the room for my short and overdressed next-door neighbor. Try as I might, he seems to have slipped out of the classroom without anyone noticing. For a moment, I try to think of possible career paths that could reasonably benefit from his single skill, before putting my mind to more pertinent matters. Lilly seems pleased, if somewhat guarded, about the enthusiasm Hanako's suddenly excited from those around her. She might not see it, but Hanako's much less panicked about the affair than I'd anticipated. Shuffling my way through the gaggle of classmates, I eventually managed to reach her. Don't worry, Hanako's fine. Thank you. I thought you might be overwhelmed by them. Don't worry, we'll be gentle. Both of us grimace in unison. Hanako's nervous grin stays plastered on her face as another couple of girls moves in to meet her. It's kind of amazing that even just I knew that was coming. It's kind of amazing that even just a month ago, she'd never been able to cope with a situation such as this. Even when I first met her, the two of us completely alone, she sprinted from the library. So, got everything you need? It's all packed. I just have to go back to my room to pick it up on the way. And Hanako and I need to change. I guess we better get going then. Hanako? Hanako's head flicks up towards us in a flash, her face rather unmistakably appreciating the chance to extricate herself from the small group gathered around her. Good coming. The long taxi ride to the airport is surprisingly pleasant, despite the three of us being rather squashed together to fit in the small back seat. Oh my word, let me try reading that again. I just butchered that. Let's just start over. The long taxi ride to the airport is surprisingly pleasant, despite the three of us being rather squashed together to fit in the small back seat. On the other hand, maybe despite isn't the right word. Lilly pays the fare to the driver as we file out, Hanako's eyes flittering left and right. Thankfully, there aren't too many people around. Most of them being inside the main building rather than milling around outside. I think this music's a little loud for me to lower it just a little bit. It isn't hard to spot Akira and Hideaki leaning against the fence while talking to pass the time. A large back travel bag, complete with wheels and travel handle, leans against the fence alongside them. Hideaki's the first to notice us, pointing us out to Akira, who gives an over-enthusiastic wave. Hey, hey! I grab Lily's travel bag for her as we go to meet the two, earning a nod of appreciation. I've got all my stuff here. You got yours? Plane ticket as well? Don't worry, I have everything. You? Yep, all ready to go. Never without some problems along the way, I might add. The snide remark has his head roughly dragged around by a very firmly clamped-on hand. Yeah, I kind of sort of forgot it was in my trousers pocket. Trousers that I'd put in the wash. Oh no. Don't worry, don't worry. Did you know you can print out tickets if you order online nowadays? It's really cool. Hideaki's pained expression says this wasn't a solution found quickly. Could have been worse, I guess. We'd better start off then. Check-in should be ready by now. Yeah, you're right. There's a certain amount of wistfulness in both their voices, to say nothing of the people behind them. Or it's to say nothing of the people left behind. Meeting their family again after all these years would be big for them. Lily. Hanako wraps Lily in a gentle hug to say goodbye. One which is warmly reciprocated. Lily and I share a brief hug afterwards, each of us saying our goodbyes. Beside us, Akira and Hideaki break off from a small hug and a word or two between them. It would probably look quite nice if not for the almost comical height difference between the two. Lily takes a hold of her sister's arm once all that needs to be said and farewells is said, the two walking past the huge glass doors. Goodbye, Hisao, Hanako. See ya! Don't do anything stupid, shorty! We wave at them until they disappear from sight in the throng of people moving about inside. And then we're alone. Well, that's that. I turn to see Hideaki already beginning to walk off. See ya. He throws a hand in the air in a manner I'd expect of Akira. In the end, it's just Hanako and me left standing outside. I rest my hand on her shoulder. She absent-mindedly gazes towards the front door of the building as if she might catch a glimpse of either of the two before they disappear. Don't worry, the time will pass fast. She hesitates for a moment, but eventually nods. With the scorching heat of the summer sun beaming down on us, we make our way to the nearby bus stop. It's strange, really. Just when I'd begun to see Lilly differently, she leaves on what almost feels like a pilgrimage to the past. In a way, though, that's just what I've been doing since coming to Yamaku. As much as I may reflect on everything that's happened to me, I really am hardly unique. Everyone has their own circumstances and separate paths to get where they are now. Yet, I still can't really work out how I should proceed. My life may have practically been reset, and I still can't find anything that satisfactorily fills the hole I still feel in myself. Maybe Lilly's leaving will be a good thing for me. Without her to lean on, I'll need to do more for myself. I'll have to be there for Hanako as well. It feels strange to have so much changing so quickly after my months in that hospital. That seemed to exist so separately from reality. But that's all the more reason for me to keep moving forward. Why did I say that? To keep focused. I can't let any opportunity slip out of my fingers in my attempt to rebuild my life. Bye, Lilly! Catch you next time. Well, we had a good run. Lilly's route was short and sweet. Oh, that's literally all that it's left for Act 2. Alright, Act 3, here we go. Lilly shows up on screen. Horny belt. I rest my chin on my hand as I I rest my chin on my hand as I absent-mindedly look out the window. Yet another of Muto's lectures droning on and on as if it were endless. The summer sky is almost alluring in its bright cerulean splendor. Only the odd passing cloud breaks up the deep blue expanse. This feeling of longing is probably the outdoors side of me yearning to escape. Nakai, could you answer this? That side of me's lost to the past now, though. In that case, I think I would use the ane suffix? Correct. Moving on. The suffix for... As my attention towards Muto slips once again, I spot Misha giving me an enthusiastic thumbs up, and nod at her to settle her down. Thanks, Misha. It's been a handful of days since Lilly left for Scotland, days which have passed relatively peacefully. Life largely continued on as usual, in contrast to what I'd expected. While thoughts of her have danced around on the edge of my mind since she left, present events managed to subdue them. At least for the time being. So I find myself idly chatting with Hanako. As usual, when lunchtime finally rolls by. Are the later ones in the series good as well? Not really. You're probably best off just sticking to the original. His later books didn't live up to it, other than maybe God Emperor. Thanks, I wasn't really sure if... As Hanako steps to the side, I see Shizune stride up in her typical businesslike manner, flanked by her ever-present bright-haired shadow. Try as I might, I can't read any hint of their intent from their faces. Shizune's poker face and Misha's seemingly boundless cheerfulness are a devilish combination. Morning, Shizune. Misha. Hi. I accentuate the greeting with a nod to Shizune in order to get the point across. She promptly and curtly returns the gesture to both of us. It's been a long while since I've really talked to either of them. For a while, I thought they might be avoiding me, but I eventually came to the conclusion that Shizune really isn't the type to do so. Morning! Shi-chan says that Muto wants to see you sometime. Because of the statement, my face contorts as if I'd just eaten spoiled food, giving Misha no end of amusement. What? Anyone think you were in trouble, Shi-chan? You may not be aware of it, but you have the least to worry about out of anyone in the class. What an unexpected vote of confidence. Even Hanako nods hesitantly to affirm the point. Thanks. I'll keep that in mind. There was something I wanted to ask you, though. And what might that be, Hi-chan? I have a feeling this won't go over well, but here goes. Is there any reason why you and Lilly don't get along? It seems like even a little civility would help you both in your duties. That didn't do. Sal, you shouldn't have said that. Shizune's cold stare after Misha happily signs the word stops me in my tracks. In hindsight, I really could have worded that better. Out of the corner of my eye, I'm sure I see Hanako move back, just a little. Thankfully, Shizune notices this and lets her temper dissipate as she forcefully runs her hand through her hair to let off steam. Perfectly on cue, Misha begins interpreting the second Shizune's arms begin to move. I would say that such matters aren't relevant to you, but since you seem to have befriended Lilly... She pauses to adjust her glasses, evidently attempting to articulate her point in the best possible manner. While I assume the same of her, I cannot call my own views on the matter unbiased. Suffice to say, we were closer before than we are now. Shizune makes a quick gesture to Misha to stop her from interrupting. To stop her from interpreting. Then has a quick meeting with her before proceeding. The fact that the two can communicate so easily, yet so secretly right in front of us is slightly disconcerting. Hanako seems to share my curiosity at the proceedings, looking on with thinly masked interest. As they finish their opaque conversation, Misha looks slightly deflated. I guess her opinion on the matter wasn't followed. Shi-chan says you should ask Lilly about it. She doesn't want to be the one that gets you involved. Yeah, well, I'll just have to ask her if she gets back. Unless I got some information out of Shizune. The two having been on close terms means that they weren't always at each other's throats. Or at least, not quite to this extent. I understand. Thanks anyway. With a nod and a farewell, the two break away and walk out the door. No doubt headed straight for the student council room. Could have gone worse, I suppose. Hanako lets out a long breath, relieved at the confrontation's resolution. I can't say I blame her. I'll see you later then? Yeah, meet you in the tea room. See ya. With that, she waves and joins the trickle of students leaving the classroom. Nakai, could I speak with you for a moment? Delivered in his typical monotone manner, he apparently decided that I need a reminder to see him already. Eventually, I finish packing up my things. By the time I reach his desk, the classroom is close to empty. Yes, sir? He looks up, taking measure of my face before giving an awkward, rather obviously acted, chuckle. No need to feel guilty, you're not in any trouble. I just want to ask you something I've asked a few of the other students so far. Well, that's something at least. For a moment, I thought my maxim of keeping my head down and pen up had failed me. So, what do you want to talk about? To start with, what do you think your progress in this class so far? Good? Bad? I detest that kind of question. For a fair amount of time, I try to think of a response that is neither pathetically humble nor cocky. I'd say I'm doing okay. The work doesn't seem too hard, and I'm doing better on the test than I thought I would. That's a good answer. A correct one, too. I give a mental sigh of relief at his satisfaction. To say that I don't gain a little pride from his comment would be a blatant lie. In the maelstrom of thoughts clouding my mind after learning that I'd be transferring to Yamaku, my school grades seemed utterly unimportant. Being entirely clueless as to what skill level would be assumed of me once I actually got here, I was hugely relieved when I found out that I understood well enough the schoolwork we'd be doing. I know your circumstances might have thrown a wrench in the works, but have you given any thought to your future? My future? What you'd like to do as a profession? Do you have any thoughts of where you'd like to be in 10 or 20 years' time? I wouldn't be surprised if you covered this ground in your previous school, but I don't have any record of it. If you have. I suppose the last year of high school is the time when students would need to be thinking about such things. To be honest, I really haven't lent it much thought compared to my immediate situation. Catching on to my thinking, Muto speaks up. It's okay if you haven't decided on anything specific yet. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of your classmates were still undecided, after all. Maybe pursue one of your talents? He's rather obviously trying to squeeze an answer out of me, and something about his previous wording makes me suspicious. He didn't seem to be intent on asking everybody like this, so he must have some kind of selection criteria. At a guess, are grades in his class. Well, something in science might be the path of least resistance. His face brightens, no doubt pleased at the thought of a prize student following his subject as a career path. Good. Having a general idea is the first step. I would advise you to think on it, though. I will. Things are kind of settling down, which will help. Good to hear. Oh, and I've noticed that Ikazawa's attendance and grades have improved since you came to be friends. I'd like to thank you for that. I'm surprised you noticed we knew each other. He gives a chuckle as awkward as his smile. This guy really has no idea how to properly act around others. Every facial movement seems like an act of careful but misdirected choreography. You could say that having a general idea of who knows whom is part of a teacher's job. Catching himself before he goes off on a tangent, he loudly coughs into his hand. I'm sure you have things to do, though, so I'll stop there. Please do think about where you're headed from here, as you don't have long to go before you finish high school. I will. Thanks. The brief talk ended, and I take my leave. He goes back to fussing with the teaching materials on his desk. This is one of the times I'm envious of Lilly, almost maddeningly so. To have one's future so clear and so assured, yet working towards it from such a young age. It's an idea so utterly irreconcilable with my own thoughts, mired in the present day just as they've always been. The next day, walking through the library to the cafeteria, I silently rue my daily routine having been completely thrown off. It had seemed like a normal day. I arrived in class before most, due to waking early and having become quite adept at chucking down my pills without choking as I get ready for the day. But as students trickled in, one never materialized. Hanako. I step inside, my eyes scanning the expanse of the cafeteria in search of a suitable place to take a seat. The task made more difficult by the groups of students moving about and busily talking. Yeah. A hand pounds my back hard a couple of times, severely winning me. What do you think? Emmy, maybe? Probably? I couldn't care less about the culprit as I focused my thoughts on my chest in a near automatic reaction. Probably Kenji. I'm thinking it's either Emmy or Kenji, but we haven't seen Kenji in a while, so... But again, it's Kenji. I don't think he would have been able to pick us out of a crowd. You know? Nearsightedness and all that. We'll see. My hand instinctively tightens on my breast, and I start going through the steps I rehearse in my mind every other day. Breathe steadily. In and out. With a measure of relief, I can slowly feel my chest becoming less tense. By the time I look back up, my face is covered in sweat from the experience. You son of a bitch! Hey man, are you okay? God damn it! Don't do that, you idiot! He retreats back, an expression of unease written on his face. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have barked at him, considering he had no way to know. I give a sigh and right myself with some difficulty. Sorry, I just have some chest problems. Sharp knocks aren't good. It seems strange to see him so upset. The fact that I can't do anything about it irritates me. Well, let's get lunch. Okay, it's good to have some company for once. We start off to the serving line. One good thing is that Kenji and I can make small talk nowadays, as opposed to my only interaction with him being anti-feminist lectures. Seems like it'd be hard to find an empty table. There's a few people I wouldn't mind sitting with. Nobody's like you, though. I feel a shiver run through my spine. Clarify that now. They don't listen. Their minds are closed. It's the media, man. The goddamn brainwashing mainstream feminist fascist media. He takes a breath, and I savor the second of silence. Damn, they control everything. Everything but you and me. I relax a little while we grab our food and drink. So, what have you got for me? Huh? Come on, you've been hanging around Sato and that other chick for ages now. Rumors are all over my class and probably some of the others too. Eavesdropping isn't a good habit. Let me guess, you never do it. Not even when you're bored. Really? Well, fine, point taken. Both of us stopped, have soup ladled into a couple of small bowls and placed onto our trays. The concoction that lands into the bowl looks pretty questionable, but at least it smells reasonably good. As we take our seats at a miraculously free table, I try to think of something that would actually interest him at all. I hope I can come up with an acceptable topic. I found an answer to that question you asked a couple weeks back, where Lilly's non-Japanese half comes from, that is.
Good man, it's Russia, right? Totally Russia.
Scotland.
Okay, Alex Jones grifter, touch grass and ass.
He's visibly stopped in his tracks.
Scotland?
Yeah, that's my reaction too. She can speak English fluently and everything.
Damn it! Do you realize what this means? How terrifying this news is to me?
I think he's hyperventilating. Passing out for a little while would probably make him more relaxed than he normally is. I can't imagine this is actually, like, relevant to Lilly's row, right? It's just Kenji, right? We could either ignore him because she's our friend and we don't care for the rumor mill, right? Or we could humor him for some reason. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Well, it's a decision, so we're gonna make a save either way. It's Kenji, I'm just gonna ignore him. I dig into my food, hoping he'll take the hint from my silence.
I just lost 1,000 yen, man. 1,000 yen. Damn, this is the worst day ever.
That's like... It's like maybe $10. I'm trying to think like the time period Katawa Shoujo takes place and whatever the conversion rate would be at that time. So it may be more, it may be less than $10. Probably a little less. No such luck. You're kidding me. You made a bet about her nationality? Hello, chat. Hello, Dongrang. Welcome back. Glad to have you here. As you can see, we're playing visual novels. Because I don't play enough games that are like that. Apparently.
One of the dudes in my class was bugging me about it. I gave him some of my wisdom and he had the audacity to say my logic was wrong.
So what did he think?
Germany or something. It doesn't matter. What matters is my 1,000 yen. Damn, this day is ruined thanks to her. What a bitch.
He looks utterly devastated as he wolfs down several clumps of his soggy, soy-soaked rice. It only takes a few mouthfuls before he pokes his chopsticks at me, stabbing the air repeatedly in revelation.
Why?
Didn't your mother ever tell you not to speak with your mouth full? He gives me a dirty look before choking down the rest of the food left in his mouth and taking a gulp of juice. It's rather unsightly. Remembering my own food sitting in front of me, I decided to get to the task of eating. Eating the cafeteria food over and done with as fast as possible. The sooner I do so, the sooner the experience will be over.
So, as I was saying, why would anyone want to live in that place anyway? I mean, what is there to see? Grassy plains? That's it. Lots and lots of grassy plains.
And men in kilts. Oh, wrong voice.
And men in kilts.
I'm not sure which is worse, this food or his worldview. I could feel my face being dragged down by their combined weight. Not that he'd notice, or care. It's not that bad. What do you care about her so much anyway? She's just your class representative, after all. He gives him a malevolent chuckle. Were this anyone but Kenji, I'd feel uneasy at how he sounds.
I finally found the chink in the Feminist Legion's armor. It took a while, but I'm confident that this is gonna be how we can bring down the whole system. I'm about to blow your mind. Are you ready?
I tune out his rambling for a moment as I finish my rice and start on the unappetizing soup. One taste is enough to confirm that it's cold. Ready as I'll ever be. Oh god, it's the weeb. Oh gosh.
I confirm that Lilly is in the Mafia.
What?
Alright, stay with me for a second here. I'll describe the scene.
I wish I could do otherwise.
Lily's there, walking down the street after school.
You're not stalking her, are you?
No, damn man, I do have some sense of self-preservation.
But not dignity, or morals, or social standards.
Anyway, as I was saying, this car pulls up next to her, and guess who steps out? The man in a pinstripe suit. Waves her in, then the two leave just like that. I tell you, man, she's under protection. Under protection.
That's not a man, that's just her sister. That's just Akira. Do you plan to change my voice next time to play Limbus? Not immediately. If or rather when the story changes, and there's a time that suits a voice change, I'll do it. But until now, he's dumb voice guy. I was re-listening to my recording of the last stream, and I listening to myself do the dong ring voice. I love it. It's perfect. You can change his voice in the dungeon as he becomes serious. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, I didn't know it was gonna happen in the dungeon, so that's a spoiler. God damn it, Shiroi. But at the same time, I kind of expected it. Anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand. Listening to whatever the hell Kenji's talking about. We both know the dungeon's the serious parts. You're not wrong.
What type of protection?
God damn it. Yep, thank you. The man in a... Oh, I can see where this is going now. It takes effort not to sigh in exasperation. Let me guess, this man was about average height, had a slightly slender build, had blonde hair, looked foreign, and smiled a lot. He looks positively stunned, and take advantage of the moment of quiet to quickly gulp a mouthful of cold soup. That was so good. The timing was so good. You all manage to always have just the perfect time of redeeming those.
It seems you're more observant than I thought. Yes, I've chosen well.
He giggles a little and nods to himself so dramatically that it looks comical. I can't tell whether that it's intentional or not, and the fact makes me frown.
This has important ramifications, you know. If she really is connected to people like them and we're smart about what we do with this information, we could turn this into our greatest weapon against the student council.
Once he starts rambling into conspiracy territory, my juice suddenly becomes of much more importance. Only half listening to his pontifications, my mind drifts to the matter of Lily and her antipathy for Shizune. The paths between them is steadily becoming more coherent, but I'm not even sure if I should be learning of her past this way. Indeed, even if I do work out what went on, it really doesn't seem like my business to go and interfere. Damn, not having Lily around is making my thoughts wander. I'm noticeably more bored and sullen without her company, and the same goes for Hanako. All we do during lunch anymore is eat and play chess. Come to think of it, I need to go check on Hanako after school too. Considering her much improved attendance, I'm guessing she's come down with something. Oh, Nakai? I stop as I'm about to leave the classroom, turning on the ball of my heel to meet Muto. He's holding out to me a couple of the worksheets we'd worked on during the day with his long, lanky arm. Would you mind giving these to Ikazawa? I'd normally ask one of the girls to do it, but I assume you'll be checking on her. How the hell did you know, dude? For a moment, I briefly considered the possibility of that being more than an innocent prediction. I quickly discard the idea, though, as it's hard to think of him acting in such a Machiavellian way. It's not in his nature. Sure, no problem. Walking up the hallway of the girls' dormitory, several ideas of why Hanako's been absent float around my head. The most obvious of them is just this simple cold. That said, she may not even be sick at all. It's been almost a week since Lilly left, and despite her at least appearing to be normal, I've suspected she's somewhat more insecure about it than she's letting on. Eventually, I come to Hanako's dormitory.
The Dongrang, must say thank you for the compliment of the perfect timing. I do believe I have such abilities for the sake of it, or maybe I just have a good sense of awareness. Who knows?
I'm glad you're full of yourself. That seems very in character. Eventually, I come to Hanako's dormitory room, its simple brown door separating us. Her room's position next to Lilly is extremely convenient, and probably a large contributor to their meeting in the first place. Grimacing slightly at the prospect of her being sick, I rap my knuckles on the door. Silence. I listen intently for any sound of shuffling coming from inside, but I can't hear a thing. I knock on the door again, slightly harder. Still no answer. How strange. A door opens behind me. A freckled and somewhat scrawny underclassman I don't recognize comes out and is briefly taken off guard by my presence. Hi. That's a lot of choices today. We'll make another save just because that's what we do here. We're trying to get info on Hanako though, so I'm just going to ask about her. I don't see any reason to not ask about her. Actually, this may be a rather fortuitous meeting. Choose wisely. What does that mean? Hey, excuse me. Do you know if Hanako's come out of her room today or not? She doesn't seem to be answering. Ikazawa is Ikazawa. Her not answering the door is totally normal. That tall foreign girl is the only person she'll ever talk to, after all. That's not true! I'm right here! She gives a shrug before walking off down the hallway, having much more important matters to attend to than Hanako or me. Her dismissive attitude annoys me. Hanako must have a reputation as a hermit. A reputation that doesn't seem outright undeserved, at least in the time before we'd met. Scratching my head, I make one last attempt at getting Hanako to answer as I knock on the door one final time. Have you tried shouting your name so that she hears you and knows it's you? Ah, there you go. Hanako, it's just me. Muto said to give you some stuff. For a while, the attempt seems just as unsuccessful as the last. Just before I slip the sheets under her door, though, I can hear the handle rattling. As the door opens halfway, I do my best to look Hanako over as quickly as possible. It's a task made somewhat more difficult by her oversized gown hiding so much of her body. She doesn't look sick, or at least not immediately so. To be honest, I'd have preferred that to her expression right now. Hi, Hanako. Muto wanted me to give you these since you weren't in class today. I hold out the loose sheets, which she tentatively takes in her hand. The way she moves is weird, devoid of thought, as if she's some kind of mechanical automaton rather than a living being. Are you okay? If you're feeling sick or anything, I can get the nurse. Feels almost pitiful to put on such a routine get well soon act. Can't think of anything else I could possibly do for her, though. She seems to collect herself a little at the notion, but only a little. I'm fine. Okay. Damn, that's sad. An awkward silence follows, eventually ended by her nodding solemnly in farewell and closing the door. The entire experience feels surreal. More than a little put off, I wander back to my room and hope that she'll be better by tomorrow, despite not knowing exactly what's wrong with her. Who hurt Hanako? Once again, I find myself in front of Hanako's door after another of her unexplained absences from class. Nothing. Considering this is the second day in a row she's been like this, I'm starting to worry about her. Summoning my willpower, I decide to try one last way to get her to respond. Hanako, if you don't say anything, I'll get the nurse for you. Go away. What? It's hard to tell whether her tone's one of depression, anger, or both. What in the world can I actually do to help her if she doesn't even want help? The message is clear enough. I can't just leave her like this, though. Just sitting in her room for days on end. Rubbing my temples in thought, I withdraw to my own room to think about how to proceed. Rationality is what's needed here, as an overreaction may just make the matters worse. I dig around drawer after drawer of my desk, looking for where I put that damned piece of paper. Before she left, Lily told me the number to call her on while in Scotland, and I wrote it down. Now that I need it, though, the damn thing is... Ah, here. I probably should have just entered it directly into my cell phone, come to think of it. Without further ado, I entered the numbers and anxiously pressed the call button. Wow, this takes me back. The fact that the phone rings at all shows that I got the prefix for a call to Scotland right, at least. Never made an international call before, so that's some comfort. Eventually, the phone picks up. A feminine voice I don't recognize on the other end. It's probably Lily's mother. English? Suddenly finding myself unprepared, I realize I can't understand a word she says, either due to my limited vocabulary or her heavy accent. I should have anticipated this, since according to Lily, her mother is a native Scot. I soldier on the hope that she must know some Japanese, considering it's her daughter's native language. It's Tisao Nikai speaking. An enthusiastic sound of realization can be heard as she recognizes the language. My feeling of relief is immense. Ah, you must be one of Lily's friends from school, correct? Even so, her accent means I have to concentrate to work out what she's saying. Oh, I should, I don't know if I can... Can I do a Scottish accent? Yes, that's right. Pleased to speak to you, Miss Satao. It's so nice of her to find someone so polite. Lily, dear, it's for you! That's not Scottish at all. I can't do it. Her mother seems nice, if a little over-enthusiastic, given the mundane situation. Just do a demo man accent? Yeah, I think I can do that. Although, I think she's done talking, so it's kind of wasted. But next time, if I remember, I'll just do a demo man. What makes me a good demo man? If I were a bad demo man, I wouldn't be sitting here discussing it with you now, would I? Alright, there we go. I can do one, actually. It's just one of those things where it's like, thinking of it in the moment is kind of hard, you know? There's a small silence as Lily takes her time getting to the phone. In the distance, I can just make out her mother scolding her playfully for just getting up. Oh. Hello, Lily speaking. You sound awful. She makes a sound somewhere between a dying animal and a yawn. The one thing I did remember to check before calling was the time zone. It'd be pretty late in the morning over there, so she really has no excuse. Not feeling well? Just tired. What time is it there? Late afternoon. School finished for the day not long ago.
Core blimey, you need more Scottish.
You're really not a morning person, are you? I don't need you making fun of it as well. It takes me a measure of restraint and not to laugh at her pain groan. Poor girl. How are you doing over there then? Bar the mornings. It's been enjoyable. After not meeting for them for so long, just having a meal together with my parents is nice. Though the pool and the sheer size of the house might have something to do with that as well. Even if they're not in Japan, from the way it sounds, her family must be pretty wealthy to live so luxuriously. Are things alright with you and Hanako? Damn. I was hoping that wouldn't be brought up so quickly. Take a moment to try and sort out exactly how to describe the situation without causing her undue worry. But she picks up on that without a word being said. Hanako's not well, is she? How did you know? Because today is her birthday. I'd hoped she might have gotten at least a little better after coming to know you, but... How is she right now? She missed school yesterday and seemed out of sorts when I checked up on her. Today she missed school again and just told me to go away. I've really got no idea what to make of it. Has this happened in the past? Is it related to her scarring in some way? Unfortunately so. Roughly the same thing happened last year when her birthday came up. As far as I can tell, it's because her parents died in the accident that caused her scarring. And Hanako blames herself for their deaths. Oh, poor Sal. That's this is Emmy's situation all over again, buddy. This isn't something you can really help with. What she says does seem to make some sense. If she's blaming herself on her birthday, she may well be ruining that she was ever born. The fact that Lily seems so in the dark about it, though, almost to the extent that I am, is a surprise. So that's why she lives in the student dormitories as well. Has she told you any more about the accident? As close as we've come, she's barely told me anything about what happened. What I know about it is largely conjecture. She sounds depressed, almost defeated. Considering the trauma Hanako must have gone through, I really can't fault Lilly for not knowing. Nevertheless, she still seems to consider it a personal failing. Don't blame yourself, Lilly, with everything she's gone through. I know, thank you, Hisao. I'm sorry I can't be of more help to you. That's fine, I'll just give it some more thought. Thanks, have a good time in Scotland. It's nothing. Thank you for taking care of Hanako. Okay, bye. Goodbye. And with that, the line goes silent. What's with the parents dying in accidents? Good question. Amid the seemingly only increased number of questions I can't answer, the most immediate is what Lilly was going to say. Oh no. I'm an idiot. She must have thought I was calling to talk with her, but I only asked for help with Hanako. Even more shameful than that thought is the fact that such an appraisal would be largely correct. Well, first things first, for now I need to at least sort out Hanako and make sure she's actually eating okay. The occasional passing students give badly hidden glances at the plate of food I carry to the female dormitories. It's hardly a meal to be proud of, only being an instant microwave meal from the convenience store, but it should at least fill her up. Eventually I arrive outside of her room, after having to ward off a couple of girls who jokingly try to pilfer the food I'd taken so long to procure. Those bitches! I decided to forgo knocking, since it was proven to be an utterly useless measure, and it's somewhat difficult to do with my hands full. Hanako, it's Hisao. I know you're listening. I got some food for you. Silence, as I expected. Now leave it beside your door. Please eat it at least, okay? There, I've said my piece. Now it's up to her. Putting the plate down, I walk back to my own room to eat my dinner. If knocking doesn't work, belling does. You have to eat all the eggs. Why are you doing this? By the time I return to Hanako's dormitory, a good hour's passed. Thankfully, there isn't anything to be seen beside her door. I walk back at least somewhat happier that she's eating. If she intends to get through this by herself, then being able to help, even if it's just in a small way, is at least something. I sit reading in the library after school, turning page after page, barely registering the words written on each out of sheer boredom. With my cheek resting in my hand, I can't help noticing the slightly rough feeling against my palm. It won't be long before I'll need to get a razor. Giving up on reading, I simply let my head drop onto the book in front of me. Things have quieted down considerably since Hanako began attending school again. When she first returned to class, nothing was said nor done that wasn't part of the usual routine, and it's been that way, the same way since. Neither of us desired to bring up her accident, so there simply wasn't any point in pursuing it. Thus, a few days went by, the daily grind continuing just as it had before. It's only natural that my mind would wander to other places, and more importantly, other people. The lily-shaped hole in the daily life of Hanako and me has been pretty noticeable for a while now. I'd be pleased to say that this has allowed me time to refine just what my thoughts on her exactly are, but alas, I've had no such luck. It doesn't help that many attempts to do so have led to the troublesome topic of Iwanako. Every time my thoughts drift into that direction, I reflexively try to think about something else. Why did this have to happen now? Hi, Yuko! I turn up and look to the source of the tentative voice coming from behind me. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb anyone. That's not it. I glance around the orange-tinted room. Oh, it's me! Quickly realizing how silly my apology must have sounded. From the time I've spent thinking and lazing about in here, everyone's well and truly left. Library closing? If you don't want to go, I could keep it open a bit longer. It's no trouble at all. Don't worry. I should get going anyway. Thanks. As I get up and begin to move off, I feel Yuko's eyes drilling into my back. Is there something wrong? You look depressed. Are you okay? Yuko nervously twists her fingers as she says this, unsure whether she's overstepping her boundaries or not. I really can't tell if she's more worried about my mood or about bothering me. Normally, I just shrug it off and assure that I'm fine, but my reflective mood gets the better of me. Despite being staff, she really doesn't feel as much like an authority figure as the others. It's just... I guess the best term for it would be relationship problems. Oh, I'm not too good with that kind of thing. My only relationship ended a bit abruptly. But if you want to talk about it, I mean, I could listen, I think. Now I feel kind of bad for bringing it up. She's not that old, though, so at least she has a good chance of finding another partner. It isn't like we're in a bad situation right now. We spent many days together as friends, but sometimes going out to do stuff, that kind of thing. But I'm starting to want to do more for her, learn more about her, and be with her more. I'm not sure if it's actually love or not, though, and our friendship as it stands is enjoyable. You shouldn't let that stop you. Sorry. How to say this, I think it's nice that you have a good friendship, but school's gonna eventually end. Do you think you'll be fine with not knowing if it could have gone further after you've graduated? I guess that's the crux of the problem. I really have no idea what the answer to that question is. Well, I can't really help there. What your true feelings are is something you have to decide for yourself. But I think if you do love her, you should definitely say something. Gone further in someone? Oh my god, Stern. Oh no, I'm late. You didn't miss much, Alexander. Welcome. After thinking about it really hard, I decided that even though my relationship didn't work out, it's still better that way than never knowing if it might have or not. Bell for being late. I never expected Yuko to sound so wise. It only makes sense that, with more life experience than I, she'd have a better idea about this. While I suppose not very much was actually answered, talking to her has helped get it off my chest. But I have no doubt that I should confess if I really do like Lily. I give a slightly frustrated sigh. Only reading so much actually helped when it comes to situations like this. She gives a girlish giggle, which only reinforces my view of her as being different from the usual staff here. In the end, it all comes down to what will happen after school finishes once again. Considering what happened before I came to Yamaku, it feels like being asked to keep up with a field of runners despite having started from a dozen yards behind them. It's just one more motive to move on from the past. The last thing I need right now is to get too caught up in that and getting homesick while I'm at it. Once again, I find myself calling Lily. Ugh, my phone bill is going to be horrific, considering this is international. But it's worth it. I don't only want to smooth over her feelings from the last time I called, I genuinely want to talk to her again. When the phone finally picks up, I easily recognize the voice on the other end. Hello, Miss Seto. May I, speak? Damn, I forgot how the rest is supposed to go. It's not encouraging to forget such a small amount of words, even if I didn't spend that long trying to memorize them. May I speak with Lily, please? I already forgot how to do the Scottish accent that I worked so hard on. I can't do it. I'm so bad at it. Hello again, Hisao. Are you teaching yourself English? Do a demo man accent. I'm trying to. I can do demo man lines, but these aren't demo man lines, so it's a lot harder to figure out. That's the thing. Like if I've got a bad demo man, like I can do that, but trying to say just a little, I can't. There's like a barrier in my brain. I just can't figure it out, you know. Just a little. I don't think I'm too good at language. Oh, fucking wrong voice. Anyway. Just a little. I don't think I'm too good at languages in general. Oh, don't say that. I'm just gonna do southern accents. It'll be funnier then. You deserve this throw. Oh, don't say that. Your pronunciation was good. I'll get Lily for you. Just wait a moment. I obediently wait as she goes off in search of Lily, the other end going silent. Eventually, a much more awake-sounding Lily than last time answers. The time over there being past noon by now. Isao, are you there? Yeah, I'm here. Hi! Good afternoon. Sorry for taking so long. I was outside in the garden. Gardening? Unfortunately, I found I'm no good at it, so I just smell the flowers. I think my fingers appreciate it more. I take it Hanako's recovered a bit? Yeah, I just made sure she was eating, and eventually she righted herself. Thanks for the help the other day. I don't think I was really that much help. The main thing is that she's better, though. True. How's life over there, then? Sounds like you've been living in nothing short of a mansion. I wouldn't call it a mansion, but it is rather large, is obviously what she wants to say.
Hello Moto, this old artifact from a time long past apparently is a primitive form of communication that our dumb ancestors thought was valid tech.
Listen, I have a smartphone, I use it for work, I use it for apps and all that other stuff. Man, I wish we could go back to flip phones. Those were simpler times. But it is rather large, is obviously what she wants to say. Though modesty stops her. I'm a little envious, but it is her holiday. I still have my old flip phone. Nice. I have an old Nokia. Yeah, that thing's as much of a brick as the legends say.
Enjoy the lurk, Alexander Lloyd Mendoza, and thanks for stopping by.
If I threw that Nokia at the wall would be in worse shape for sure, to put it simply. Good times, good times. I had that thing, I actually had that thing for like half of high school. It was like, the only reason why I ended up getting a new phone is because I basically had to beg to get something other than a Nokia, because the fucking thing never died. Oh, Ori, we'll get you a new phone when this one died. Never happened. It's still sitting in a drawer somewhere. I'm pretty sure if I could get it a data plan, I could still use it. Remember the first cell phones? My dad had a giant black brick with an extendable antenna. Yeah, those predate me a little bit, but those were good times. Those were good times. The Nokias were literally military tested. Yeah, and it shows. Those things were solid. Fantastic devices. It is a nice house to stay in, though. There's a beach near here, too, which Akira's especially fond of. She's a swimmer? She's constantly dragging me there to have swimming competitions, but she wins every time. Which reminds me that the protection for the Nokia weren't for the Nokia, it was for everything else. Very true. I didn't have I didn't even get a protective case for it at all. I dropped it all the time. Didn't matter. Thing's a brick. Survived every single drop. Hell, I still drop my phone all the time. That's why I never get like the latest and greatest tech. I always buy stuff that's like several years out of date, because it's way cheaper and they tend to survive better when you drop them. Now think about it, my dad's phone was 50% battery. If it exploded, you'd lose half your head. Yeah, but old batteries didn't explode that much. The new batteries are crazy. They go. They'll explode. Old ones had better protection, and I think the batteries just weren't as explosive either. Lilly doesn't strike me as very athletic at all, so not being adept at swimming seems logical enough. To say nothing of the, blindness. New batteries are nukes, true. The fastest I've ever seen her move is her understandably relaxed pace during her walks to and from the suburbs down the hill from the school. Makes the image of her swimming hard to imagine. The beaches there must look nice. Miss Al, buddy. Buddy, you should know this by now. You should know. You shouldn't be making these mistakes, buddy. The beaches there must look nice. They'd be less crowded than the ones around here, at least. Indeed. Akira says the area around here looks beautiful because it's so far outside the city. I only realize what I've said after I say it, but it doesn't bother her at all. It's still easy to forget that she can't see when she's not around, despite the time we've been friends. That said, the local accent sometimes makes communication a bit hard. It's a constant reminder that this isn't home. Well, the fact that she doesn't consider her parents' residence to be her home makes good sense. Makes me realize that I can't really answer whether the same goes for me. Graduation from Yamako is distant enough to be difficult to view objectively, and I've spent so much time in this small room, coming to accept the dormitory as my new home surprisingly quickly. I guess that would be hard to deal with. Is your knowledge of English holding up? Thankfully, I may be fluent, but being in a position where I have to use it often helps in curbing my Japanese accent. So it's been useful practice. I hear you're trying to teach yourself English. More like memorizing a few lines and failing at even that much. I'm really not cut out for learning another language. My admission of defeat draws an amused giggle. I believe that there are things one chooses to do in life and also things that are chosen for one to do in life. You can take comfort in the fact that you're better than me in science and math, at least. All that's helped is making me Muto's star student. I just had like a stroke reading that. I wouldn't worry about it. They're useful skills for many jobs, right? That's what he tells me. His face veritably lit up when I said I'd probably go into a career
Lily may not
involving
see the
either.
best part of beaches, the swimsuit chapter.
She's not gonna get to see her sow in some swim trunks. We both share a warm laugh at the events that have befallen each other on opposite ends of the world. It's nice and reminds me of our simple small talk that I've been missing since she left. As each of us waits for the other to begin speaking, I decide to push ahead with my feelings. I can feel my throat tightening slightly. Dude, wait for her to come back. I missed you. The silence on the other end of the phone tells me she's given the words their due weight. But as it goes on, I can't help feeling more and more apprehensive. She can certainly feel him, all of him. Thankfully, the silence ends almost as quickly as it had begun. I miss you too, Hisao. Goodbye. Goodbye, Lily. Once again, the phone is hung up, simply and without any further ado. That light, tentative, almost shy voice. Her warm and soft tone. I'd simply be lying to myself if I were to say that I don't recognize this feeling for what it is. With thoughts of Lily dancing on my mind, I start anticipating her return. Today has been a most excellent day. I sit listening to another of Muto's long-winded lectures, my mind wandering far from the scribbles on the dirty blackboard. Since I called Lily, my mind's been drawn in two directions. Both, roughly, lead to the same conclusion. I've started to feel oddly detached from my past life. It's only been a month and a half since I arrived here, yet the school's become a second home. I've gained new friends and contacts, managed to get to grips with the school's lifestyle and culture, and become accustomed to the quirks of my classmates. I've become used to a school where disabilities are the norm rather than the rare exception. It still catches me off guard sometimes when I think on it. The same school that's populated by burn victims, amputees, the blind, the deaf, and all manner of disabilities in between. If someone had described the school to me before I'd come, I'd have shrugged it off as an overactive imagination. Even when I first arrived, I felt like the Dutch coming to this strange new land for the first time. It's amazing how quickly one becomes used to the environment they're forced to live in, really. And now I've even found someone that's got me entirely smitten. What a strange life. Before my mind can wander any further, though, I find a page of lined paper slipped under my distracted face. The garish, bright pink ink has no doubt been penned by Misha. Hi, Misha! Don't look so bored, Ichan. School's nearly over. 3-day holiday. Oh, right. We get Saturday and Monday off. Can't complain about having the school, I suppose. I uncap my pen and scribble on the page before covertly passing it back to her, flicking my eyes to the front of the class every now and then. Muto continues scrawling away arcane equations and formulas on the board. I'm guessing you have something planned? Misha takes the paper back and hunches over it comically. even for her, with her tongue poking through the side of her mouth. Did she misinterpret my expression as depressed? Is she trying to cheer me up? Student council worked with Shichan, of course. You're not still brooding over that, surely. But Hichan could have helped us poor, lonely girls. I'd lend you a hand for today if I weren't going to be busy. Ooh, naughty, naughty Hichan. Where's the Misha route? I'm just going to meet Lily with Hanako. I don't know what you've got going through your head. So Lily's back? Yeah, she's coming on the evening flight with her sister, so she'll be back in school next week. As she takes the note back and begins to pry it, I look up to see an unwelcome sight. While I frantically try to silently catch Misha's attention, Muto confidently strides through the gap between the desks from the front of the class, his intent gaze focused directly on her. She suddenly stops writing as his tall figure casts an impossibly long shadow over the page. He silently takes the piece of paper from her and begins to read. Oh no! Sweating bullets, I quickly glance around the class, noting their complete silence. Of course, it would just have to be the one thing that actually gets their attention during the lesson. After a scant few seconds examining the page, he rolls the paper up into a small tube and lightly bops Misha over the head with it. Half an hour until you can hop off to the student council. I think you can hold on until then. Misha's face cracks as the entire class erupts into laughter. He might well be awkward, but he knows how to handle her excellently. I'd probably feel sorry for her if I weren't as busily stifling my own laughter. Kiss out. Is that one it? No, I think it's some foreign airline. And so the third aircraft they're not on comes into land. For the past half hour, we've been whiling away the time with small snippets of pointless chatter. Lily and Akira's flight has been delayed, and at this rate, it'll probably be dark before their plane arrives. Is that one it? No, the company colors are wrong. Hanako's eyes flutter left and right, following the trickle of people in and out of the huge glass doors ahead of us. Fortunately, nobody pays her much heed, their attention apparently directed towards greater things. Maybe that one is it? No, I think that's... Hold on a minute. I think that one might be it after all. It takes still some more time before the billboard changes their flight status to disembarking. A loud yawn sneaks up on me, not allowing enough time to stifle it. My sleep patterns have, once again, been all over the place, likely due to a mix of worrying about Hanako and the side effects of my medications. Isao, over there. I look to Hanako, then follow her gaze to the airport door. Oh, Lily, they're here. Really? We could all call out to each other in greeting. That was fast. He had that ready. We all call out to each other in greeting, quickly shuffling over to the side to avoid blocking the passage of others. Lily! Hanako jumps forward to hug Lily, a wide smile on her face being all that's needed to see her happiness at Lily's return. Lily simply smiles in return, her voice soft. It's wonderful to meet you again, Hanako. As the two give each other a hug, well deserved after all that's happened while she was gone, I turn to Akira. Yo, you're pretty late. Yeah, there was a really bad storm over the airport. We got drenched just going from the car to the door. I guess you'll appreciate the weather here more. Welcome back, you two. No, sorry. Welcome back to you too, Lily. Hanako breaks off from Lily as I speak. For a long time, neither of us says a word. Contrary to what I thought her homecoming would be like, the atmosphere feels awkward, almost stifling. Both of us try to guess each other's feelings, not quite sure about what should be said. Damn, this is exactly what I'd feared when I thought of trying to move things forward between us. Lily runs her hand through her fair hair and awkwardly twirls one of her bangs in her fingers, clearly trying to think of how best to react. Eventually, thankfully, Lily gives a small sigh and breaks the silence. Thank you, Hisao. It's nice to be back. Bell for the wet lip. God damn it. Are you okay? You look tired. Evidently not recollecting herself all that well, she quickly waves her hand in front of her face to stave off any concern Hanako may have over her. I said recollecting, but it's recollecting because she's collecting. I'm okay, really. It's just a bit of jet lag. Weak. You don't have any? She simply gives a big grin, puffing out her modest chest. I feel absolutely fine. She just passes out on the spot. It's not fair. Ah, well. Yeah, it shouldn't take too long to get rid of it. Ah, that's right, Hisao? Yeah? Don't we have a holiday from school soon? I'd have forgotten if Misha hadn't reminded me this morning. We got a 3-day weekend starting from tomorrow. Akira playfully bumps her elbow into Lily's side, grinning. Told you wouldn't miss it. You have something planned? If neither you nor Hanako are busy. I've got no plans, so something to do would be appreciated. Hanako? No, nothing. That's good. I was thinking we could go to my family's summer house for a bit of quiet over the break. We've rarely used it recently, though, so we'd have to dust things off a little while we're there. Oh, where is it? Up north in Hokkaido. The place is practically deserted, so it should be a nice quiet break for you guys. You're not coming? Nah, got a little holiday of my own set up with my boyfriend. I lower my eyes at her, suspicious of her intentions. Sounds like we're just cleaning up the summer house for you. That's perhaps a valid conclusion. Shut up, you. Both of us zero in on Akira, her face somewhat evasive. Looks like we were right. That's just a convenient bonus, really. Me and the guy left in pretty good condition last we were there, I promise. Now then, I'm out of here. Already, Akira. She quickly turns and walks away, her hand held high. See you in a few days, guys. Lily and I can only sigh at her hasty retreat. It does sound like it would be a nice place to go. Lily gives an enthusiastic nod, taking her carry bag in one hand and placing her other on Hanako's shoulder for guidance as we begin to make our way to the taxi area. After the fracas of the past few days, spending a weekend in the country alone with her and Hanako sounds like a dream. The more I think about it, the more sure I am. This will be the right time and place to confess my feelings to her. But dude, if it doesn't go well, you'll be stranded out there with her for a couple days. Unless you do it at the very end. But man, you could make this really bad. Don't mess it up, buddy. The morning chill wraps itself around my shivering body. I huff into my cupped hands, desperately try and stave off the cold as we mill about on the station platform. Lily's clothing looks rather ill-suited for the temperature around us. I can only hope it's indicative of what she expects the weather to be like at our destination. Damn it, Lily, why do we have to get here so early? Unfortunately, the train schedule is against us. The next train to Hokkaido is at 2 in the afternoon. Great, just great. I pause a moment to wipe some sleep out of my eyes, and Lily promptly takes advantage of the opening. Cheer up, Miss Al. Once we get there, it'll be much warmer. Why not just take the bullet train? The little train's gonna take hours to get us there, so we might as well take the Shinkansen line as far north as it goes and just switch at the end. There's a certain charm to older trains, wouldn't you agree? I'd agree if I weren't freezing in the morning cold because we decided to take one. I'm sorry, Hisao. Sorry? What for? I was the one who suggested taking a normal train. Way to make me feel guilty. All I can do is sigh and cover my face with my hand. It's fine, I'm just grumbling. My, Hanako. You needn't shoulder all the blame yourself. Even without your suggestion, I'd still have opted for the same thing. Good save, Lily. Thankful for the quick interception from Lilly, I take a quick gander around the station. Aside from us, the train's platform's all but deserted. The morning dew settling on the empty benches.
Baby, it's cold outside.
Lilly and Hanako are into older. God damn. I guess no one else was masochistic enough to brave the early morning. Though if someone was, they'd more than notice the huge bags both Lilly and Hanako brought with them. Just what did you pack into those things anyway? The bags? She pauses a moment and tilts her head in thought. A change of clothing, a raincoat, underwear, sleepwear, a number of books. I think that's most of it. You make it sound as if I'm unprepared. You brought less? Underwear and a pack of cards. That's it. You didn't bring any changes of clothes, dude? You're kidding, right? You're kidding, right? you should at least have another few sets of clothes in addition to your underwear. And my pills, but never mind that. No pajamas? Damn, I knew I forgot something. As I ruffled my hair in frustration, Lily sighs. There should be clothes you could use there. Like Kira still occasionally goes there, after all. And I think some of our parents' clothing is still in storage. I don't think there'll be any problem with you borrowing a set of pajamas if need be. Thanks. Still, I don't mind just sleeping in my normal clothing. For 2 days? Good point. Not really. Though 2 days would be borderline, it's more that looking even a little like a slob would be unacceptable while in the presence of 2 girls. As we leisurely talk on the station platform, an announcement sounds from the loudspeakers, loudly heralding our ride's arrival. Looking past Lily and Hanako, though, the train's still well out of sight. A quick check of my watch is enough to see that it's the one we'll be taking. 5:30 train was ours, right? One of them is very hot even. I'm gonna smack you. Correct. Either of you want me to take your bags? Mine's not exactly heavy. My, that's very gentlemanly of you, Isao. Don't accept too reluctantly now. As I bend down to pick up Lily's large bag, I look up to see Hanako picking up hers. You fine with that? A silent nod's the only answer. I'm starting to get the feeling that by the trip's end, I'll be able to count every sentence she said on one hand. She's playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm gonna smash you like Isao could smash Hanako and Lily. No! With the morning landscape passing by the window and the occasional rattle of the train bumping the carriage around, I try to focus my attention on the aging playing cards held in my hands. I'll raise you 5. She scrunches her face up and leans over to Lily, conspiratorially, the two exchanging a few whispered words. Considering how often this has happened so far, I'm coming to doubt Hanako's grasp of how to play poker. Doesn't seem to disturb Lily's reading, though, her hands flitting over each page with only occasional corrections to account for the train's bumpings and rockings. My collection of chess pieces that we're using as chips is steadily growing anyway, so it doesn't really bother me. Looking around us, our carriage is almost as empty as the station platform we'd waited for the train itself on. Only a handful of people can be seen, looking mostly like tourists and couples on holiday. While the two continue their less than clandestine strategizing, a small boy looks over the seat and stares at me. Hoping he doesn't begin to stare at Hanako, I simply give him a wave and a smile. Thankfully, he retreats back to his seat after finding me far too boring to waste his attention on. I'll see you and raise you another 5. Damn, you got me. I fold.
Is this train cart a private cart?
No, there was just a child there. Don't get any weird ideas. There's a kid here. I've been bluffing, and she got me. Hanging my head, I push over a large portion of my winnings. Hanako looks absolutely delighted, and even if Lily keeps her attention focused on her reading material, I can see the smirk on her face. They're both extremely pleased. For a moment I try to work out what Lily's reading, but the cover is too faded to read beyond the fact that Roman letters are on it. A pity I can't read the braille above the printed title. What are you reading, Lily? The title looks like it's in English.
A private card would have been for some wrestling.
God. That's right, and then there were none. An old British story. I could read it to you if you like. She extends the offer with a grin, obviously in jest. I think I'll pass. Thanks. After a seemingly endless trip, we finally reach the promised lands of the Sato Summer House. Even after the train trip, the walk seemed to take forever. Despite my grumblings, though, I'd never have guessed the sight that would be in store for us once we traveled that long, deserted road. It looks more like a farmhouse than the everyday house I had imagined, small in size and surrounded by trees and bushes. Something tells me this is not a house located in Japanese, and this is an American house lifted off of like Google Images or something. I don't know, something about the way it's structured. This feels like it's an American house. And definitely not a farmhouse, because, you know, you got a lawn here. You've got a lawn, that's how you know it's American. An empty expanse of wheat fields and farming. Yeah. This is not accurate. An empty expanse of wheat fields and farming land can be seen as we walk up, the fencing only consisting of rickety old wooden planks. It really drives home how far we are from the major cities, and is a sight that feels antithetical to the environment I grew up in. Must be in a flood zone for that house. Maybe, perhaps. The only thing that doesn't surprise me is its Western styling. Alright, okay, fair enough. Fair enough, game. Alright, you got me. You got me, okay? You tricked me out. You faked me out. I thought I was being clever. You're like, nah, fam. We saw that coming. We know what's up. Wow, it's amazing out here. Oh, sorry, wrong voice. It's wonderful. That's nice to hear. While Akira may have said that she could keep the house in reasonable condition, I was worried that we might have different standards of reasonable. It looks like there isn't another soul for miles. I thought Akira would be the type to keep to the city. Lily furrows her brow in thought, seemingly recalling almost forgotten knowledge. From memory, there's a small town not too far ahead. Other than that, though, this is largely just old farmland. Akira and I stayed in our parents' house, which was in the nearest city for a while. But after they left, we decided to move into a smaller, more easily maintainable house. To find a place like this in Japan nowadays, it's kinda anachronistic. Well, this town does have quite a bit of history. I looked down the street one last time before getting back to the task at hand. Shall we go in then? I'm parched. It was a long walk to get here. Lily gives an enthusiastic nod, the three of us lugging our bags into the house. Ah! Oh my word. Yep, Western style, that's for sure. As soon as we set foot inside, Hanako and I start looking around, taking in every detail of where we'll be staying for the next few days. All the artifacts of another's life stopped mid-motion are around the house. Such as the television guide lying beside the counter it was on, and pans in the adjoining kitchen still sitting on the stove. It's a strange feeling, really, as if we were stepping into Akira's life for a brief moment, before leaving in a couple days just as we'd come. Of course, the more mundane reality is that she just hasn't cleaned up after herself that well. Where should we put our bags? I'll show Hanako our bedroom. You can put yours here if you like. You mean I don't have the same bedroom as you two? Hisao, come on now. Hanako flowers into a full blush as Lily takes her cheek in her hand. Oh my, how bold. You two. Hold on, if I'm to leave my bags here, where would I be sleeping? You're sleeping on the couch, buddy. Well, seeing as we lack a guest bedroom. The convertible futon, huh? No, wrong voice. The convertible futon, huh? Sorry, Hisao. I sigh, lamenting my place on the bottom rung of the sleeping location priorities.
Is that a sofa for two?
Shut the... I guess there's no other choice. Lily leaves to show Hanako to their bedroom, so I take a small tour of my surroundings after I drop my bag on the floor. The kitchen, just like the living room, is fairly modest. The rustic nature of the wooden furnishings drives home just how far we
It
are from
probably is
civilization.
one for three, actually.
Bong, bong, bong. Returning to the living room, I decide to try out the television until they get back. With the touch of the remote, it immediately flickers to life, apparently set to a news channel. Turn the TV on! They hit the Pentagon! Almost flopping down from exhaustion rather than sitting, I lay back and watch. And watch. And watch. Boy got tired, he fell asleep. 3 bunks, is that the number of times? God damn it. Hey, Sal? I quickly blink to wake myself up. Lily and Rikoniko... Okay, let's try this again. Lily and Hanako having returned, minus their bags. From the Hokkaido night sky visible outside the windows, it looks like I drifted off to sleep. Looking to the wall-mounted clock, it's already 10. You found the television, then. Yeah, it really does feel nice and homey here. I'm glad you like it. You were already out like a light and came back after unpacking our things, so we didn't have the heart to wake you sooner. Judging from her giggle, I must sound funny when I sleep. I swiftly decide not to inquire. There's some dinner waiting for you in the kitchen. Hanako gives a deep yawn, only just remembering to cover her mouth at the last sentence. Or last second. My, are you tired? I didn't get much sleep last night. I'm pretty tired too. It was a long walk up here, and it's getting late. If that's the case, I suppose we should retire for the night. Good night, Hasao. Good night. Night. With that, they quietly turn and walk back to their bedrooms. Rubbing my eyes, I sigh. I wonder if I'll be able to get back to sleep after being woken up. I suppose I'll eat something and watch some more TV quietly before going to bed. Tonight it will be 2 girls, 1 boy. Oh my God, Stern! I can't stop you. The bonk's not strong enough. Is he still sleeping? I think so. I'm not. I am, however, incredibly tired. It's getting late in the morning. I know that. He likely stayed up to watch television. I could hear it from our bedroom. Only because I couldn't get to sleep. Should we wake him? Don't do that, Hanako. Please. No, we should leave him. I doubt he'd want to be woken early if he didn't get much sleep during the night. Thank you, Lily. Besides, he sounds so peaceful. It would be a shame to wake him when he's like this. Keep a straight face, Sal. It is nice
More
she
like
cares
human
so...
centipede, one bed.
That's even worse! It is nice she cares so much, though. Hanako, could you go to the fridge and fish out what's needed to make lunch? Alright, just the vegetables and rice? That should be enough. We only need something simple, as we can eat in town later. Hanako's footsteps on the carpeted floor can be heard, moving away from the living room. As I do, I feel Lily's hand gently rest on my chest. It takes a titanic effort not to react, but something about her makes me think she knows I'm awake. A long silence passes. The only thought in my mind is of that gentle, outstretched hand laying upon my chest. After an indiscernible amount of time, Lily withdraws her hand. Good morning, Hisao. She knows, she could tell. Conceding defeat all too easily, I prop myself up and rub my eyes. How'd you know? Your breathing was off. Well, that makes sense. She couldn't have needed that long to work it out. Knowing her hearing, she likely knew before laying her hand on me. She just wanted to touch you, dude. if you want to sleep more, you should really go to bed earlier. I heard the television going long into the night. Does that mean you didn't sleep that well either? Sorry about that. My medications have been interfering with my sleep for a while now. Even if I'm tired, I have trouble actually sleeping. I'm sorry for bringing it up, Hisao. I sighed. This is exactly the kind of thing I wish others wouldn't do. What? Huh? This is a weird dialogue option. Choose wisely. You say that every time. And half the time it doesn't even matter. I need to look at the log again. I think... Right, think about it like this, okay? Right. We wanna get with Lilly, right? Right? So, we should help her get to know us so we can get to know her, you know? So, by all accounts, we should address it. On the same note, we don't want to make her upset, right? So, we'll address it. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? Oh, what I don't know is, what exactly do you mean by address it? That's the tricky thing. I don't know what addressing it means in this situation, nor do I understand exactly what you mean by wave her off. Is it just ignore it and continue going on with the day? Is that what you mean by wave her off? Or is address it more like just talk about it with her, or is it more like tell her to get off my... Yeah. Address the medicament problem from my POV. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, and that's why I'm gonna go with it, but I gotta say, these, the wording of these dialogue options could have been a little bit better. Come on, you worry about me more than I do at times. It just means I have to sleep a little bit longer, that's all. But still, I'd say that I look absolutely fine. But I guess that wouldn't have a lot of meaning for you. Hisao, what the fuck? She gives a sigh of consternation before trailing off with an amused chuckle, giving up the point. If you say so, please do take care of yourself, Hisao. Go on, Hanako could use some help. She moves to protest, but reluctantly acquiesces and disappears into the kitchen, her hand running along the smooth white walls as she slowly walks. I have a feeling that was the wrong option. He sounded a little bit too mean about it. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna load the other one, and we're gonna see how different it is. Cause it just feels, you know, you'll see. Yeah, let's wave her off. Hanako could probably use some help. It seems the same. Well, we'll go back with with what our original choice was. For a while, I still watch television in an attempt to wake myself a little more, but it's futile. I don't have anything better to do, so I follow Lilly's lead. As I round the corner, I see Hanako and Lilly, backs turned, quietly cutting food on the granite-colored counter. I'm temporarily engrossed as I watched Lilly guiding the knife down carefully with a finger on the cabbage she's cutting. Each slice delivered slowly but with precision. All Lilly can do is feel your hand. She seems a little slow, but considering that she can't see what she's doing, it's a small wonder she can cook at all, let alone for both her and Hanako. Hi, Hanako, Lilly. Hanako, I said that way too fast. She can feel something else, something big. God. Hi, Hanako. Lilly. Want some help? Is that Hisao? Ah! Oh, morning, Hisao. Lily jerks back in surprise before turning around, her yelp immediately drawing Hanako and me to her side. What's, A small trinkle of scarlet falls downward from her pale fingertip, the knife having cut just deep enough to draw blood. The television sound masking my footsteps, she must not have noticed me coming. To compensate for having to use touch to guide everything she does during cooking, she must need to pay extra attention. Lily! Don't worry, Hanako, it's just a small wound. You should still get a band-aid on it, at least until it stops bleeding. First aid stuff would be in the bathroom, right? I think so. Will you be okay here, Hanako? I frown at how little heed she's paying to herself as Hanako gives a quick, almost automatic nod. It's fine. I can keep making lunch. An awkward silence reigns as I set the bottle of antiseptic and box of band-aids on the side of the sink, Lily's finger held out for me to treat. The lid of the bottle comes off with a minimum of resistance, when the small ball of cotton I soak in the liquid stains a pale green. Okay, hold still. This'll probably hurt a bit. She gives a small nod as I take hold of her hand to steady it.
She's good at bleeding.
Shut up. With all the tenderness I can muster, I gently bring the dampened wad to the small red line. Ah! What? I barely touched it. Sorry. I give a sigh, both at her reaction and a set on my own nerves. Her pain tolerance is startlingly low. I would tell... Sal, what the I would tell you to man up, but I can't really do that. As she gives a small giggle, I take advantage of her momentary distraction and gently press the cotton against her finger a few times. Thankfully, it's enough to do the job. We both settle somewhat as I bring the band-aid over the tip of her finger, covering the wound while making sure not to get it stuck to her fingernail. There, finished. You can move now. Taking her hand from mine, she gently clasps it in the other. Thank you. It's no problem. It's the least I can do after causing you to hurt yourself, after all. She lowers her head slightly at the apology, absent-mindedly rubbing her hand in what seems to be embarrassment. I really don't mind. Her answer doesn't seem to make much sense, given that what happened is pretty clearly my fault. Can't help grimacing at her, despite the fact that her dainty smile still holds. She must not like being reminded of the limitations her lack of sight imposes on her. Something I can't possibly falter for. I've fallen prey to the same kind of feelings before, despite my condition not being nearly as ubiquitous as of late. In my life. Jesus. Maybe I am starting to develop dyslexia. Anyway, neither of us any the happier. We head back to the various smells of cooking food coming from the kitchen. I lay out the plates of food, steam slowly rising from the well-cooked rice and curry dishes, while Hanako lays out the cutlery. Knife one side, fork on the other. Western. How perfectly fitting for someone like Lily. The food being Hanako. We're not eating Hanako, you cannibal! As we take our seats, taking careful heed of the dark red tablecloth hanging below our knees, Lily emerges from the kitchen. In her hands are 3 glasses and a bottle of wine? As I recall our previous run-in with that devilish elixir, I hide my face in my palm. Alcohol? Seriously? She pauses as she reaches the table, a playful grin perched on her face. Akira specifically gave permission to take a bottle from her collection. Not only does she give alcohol to minors, she even lets them pilfer their own. The perfect model of a responsible adult, Akira is not. More to the point, though, is that this is hardly a meal deserving of alcohol. I'm starting to think Lily is the type to easily become hooked on things.
Hanako is already burned and overcooked.
Oh my god, dude. Damn! That's not really the problem. I don't really have any qualms with it, but didn't you have a bad experience with it last time? Last time was likely due to drinking too much, so a single glass shouldn't prove a problem. Think of it as a learning experience.
Poor girl, she kept getting burnt.
I can't recall many learning experiences that make me feel rotten before putting me to sleep, but I'll take your word for it. She dips an uninjured finger inside to feel the liquid level. tip against the bottom as the liquid rises up. The white of her finger almost seems to glow as the sunlight hits it, the delicate outline blurred and refracted by the glass. Her fingers are definitely longer than mine, the kind I'd think are more suited to a pianist than a teacher. She'd likely have done well if she learned how to play. We quickly dig into our meal, forks and knives clattering against the plates. None of us are particularly eager to speak while eating. Lilly altogether... God damn it. Lilly altogether too reserved for such a thing. Hanako probably too shy.
We have to stop cooking her like this.
Hanako probably too shy to start conversation, and I too busy savoring the food. Such a pedestrian activity, eating together at a table. It seems so utterly normal, yet it makes me realize how long it's been since I've done something like this. Just the three of us, sitting around a single table eating as if we were a malformed family. Maybe this trip, as far away from everything as we are, was worth it. It takes quite a long time, but eventually we all finish our surprisingly filling meal. The wine, thankfully, has little effect given we've only had a glass or two each. I slump back into the seat, rubbing my stomach contentedly. I'm stuffed. Lilly pats her mouth with a napkin. Gordon Ramsay seeing Hanako. This one is too burnt. Oh my god. We're not even on Hanako's route, and you're bullying her. This is brutal. You're all evil. Evil, evil, evil.
This isn't the one thing he should stuff.
Alright, that's a little more in line, I guess. That's a little bit better. Lilly pats her mouth with a napkin. Twice. Only twice, and with evenly timed intervals in between. It's hard to tell sometimes whether how she acts is a well-trained routine, or a well-rehearsed act. I think I must be as well. Did you like it, Hanako? Mm-hmm. It was nice. Now that we're fed, shall we be off? Off? Where? Ah, you weren't privy to the discussion between Hanako and me earlier. I get the impression that she's having a subtle dig at my sleeping in. We'll be going to the town nearby. I guess I should have expected two girls to take a holiday as an excuse to go shopping, no matter where on the planet they might be. I am interested to see more around the north, though, so this can only be a good thing. Sounds good. How long's the walk-in, then? It's supposed to be around a mile to a mile and a half. Nearby, huh? Great. Just great. What do you... I gotta say, Sal hasn't sounded very pleased by all this... by this trip. It's kind of weird. As we climb up the path surrounded by trees and undergrowth, I watch Lilly and Hanako walking ahead. The slight breeze all but whisks away the sound of Lilly's cane gently tapping on the ground. I notice that Lilly since removed the band-aid now that the bleeding of her finger has stopped. A deep, lung-filling breath of the fresh country air makes me wish all the harder that the air around home had been quite so clean. We're gonna let the blind girl give directions? Okay. Because he hasn't done the best thing yet? Oh, gosh.
1 mile, like the Mile High Club.
No, no! God damn it! It can't have even been a half a mile, but I'm already working up a sweat. It isn't a pleasantly cool day, though, so I shouldn't be too hard on myself for it. Hey, Lilly, how well do you know this town, anyway? Since I spent quite a few of my vacations here up until I entered Yamaku, I'd say I know it fairly well. We used to drive there once a weekend then. How I wish Akira was here to drive us now. 1 mile, like what he will put in both of them. God. Do you have any idea how much a mile of Schmeat is? What was that one post that mathed it out? It's a lot. That's a lot of entertaining. no blood for his whole body. Yeah, it would all be in the... I quickly take a moment to rub my hands a couple of times, staving off the oddly cold feeling in them. Did you like it up here? I'd say it was nice during winter, but as you can work out, summers get a little too hot for comfort. It's nice and quiet, at least. My family's real house is quite far south. When they left Japan, my parents gave it to Akira and me. Only Akira lives there now, after my moving into Yamaku. Well, quiet certainly describes this place. Though lonely is how I'd put it. Other than the prophesized small town, there isn't another soul for miles around. Coming from a home nestled deep within the big city, it's certainly different. I think that if I'd not come to Yamaku, staying out in the country like this would be too much of a change to get used to. After getting accustomed to the school's isolation, though, the idea of living in a place such as this has become almost inviting. To be somewhere away from the hustle and bustle of the metropolitan centers.
If it's hot, take off a few layers.
So, Hisao, have you ever been to Hokkaido before? Nah, I used to live down south, and we never had any field trips or holidays up this far. Well, it's a new experience for you then. Yeah, it is. I'm surprised at how nice it feels here. How about you, Hanako?
Hanako certainly should feel very hot.
Shut up! She shakes her head from side to side. It's my first time, too. As we continue walking, I begin to feel pins and needles in my legs. It's a little disturbing, given there's no reason for it to be happening. Could you two hold on for a moment? I just need to... Is anything wrong? Nah, I've just got pins and needles and... I knew that was gonna count. I knew that was happening. My vocal cords suddenly became taut as my chest tightens instantaneously. I quickly pulled my upper arm over it, trying to quell the shot of pain spreading through my entire body. Man, I guess you should have woken up and gone running with Emmy every morning as the nurse said you should. Isao. I did Hanako's voice because her profile moved, but it was Lily that said that. Whatever. Lily's face is only mildly concerned, not knowing the sight which Hanako's recoiling from. I'm fine, just tired. I remove my arm from my chest and force myself to begin walking again. It's just a minor heart flutter, so it'll pass like the others. It only takes a couple of steps before my body violently revolts against me. My legs suddenly beginning to give way underneath me and all tension in my knees seeming to evaporate. Before I can react, they uselessly give way under my weight, leaving me only just enough time to brace myself and fall onto all fours. Ah, damn. As I look up to her, I realize my face is still taut with pain, only adding that much more to her worrying. Hisao, Hanako, tell me what's going on. Hanako, tell me! Hanako quickly moves to my side as Lily almost panics, having little clue as to exactly how bad a condition I'm in. While she stands there petrified, I lower my face and take a deep breath. I come to a realization that makes me endlessly irritated with my stupid self. With all the excitement of my new surroundings, I'd entirely neglected to take my medications last night or even this morning. And we did. We died. Taking another breath, the acute pain in my chest begins to die down as suddenly as it had arrived. Thank God, thank God, thank God, thank God, thank God! Game over, yeah! As it does, I become acutely aware of the sweat now pouring off my face and the two scared girls around me. Hisao! I'm fine, Lily, I'm fine. I screw up my brow in an effort to lever myself up. Hanako's arms quickly move to catch me if I fall as I stumble a bit before regaining my balance. Iron Man over. I look to Lily and Hanako, worry written on both of their faces. I feel awful, utterly awful. I think we should go back. Realizing the futility of protesting, I look away in frustration. Fine. Damn, Hisao. Who is more durable, Lynn or Hisao? Lynn, obviously. Clearly. I open my eyes groggily, completely bereft of energy. For a while, I simply lie down lifelessly, staring at the ceiling as I review the events of this morning in an attempt to organize my thoughts. We went to walk to town, my heart nearly gave way, we came back, I took my pills, I slept. I can only remember each period of time as a snapshot, but the timeline is clear. The memory of the girls' faces as I struggled to stand is an unpleasant one, stinging my feelings harshly. If I look at the ceiling hard enough, I can imagine the tile edges and small dimples of the ceiling in the hospital. That fact alone is enough to make me sit up and try to pull myself together. I scratch the back of my disheveled hair, glancing around the room. Lilly and Hanako are nowhere to be seen, and the television's turned off. The clock above says it's pretty late in the afternoon. The noticeably reddened sky outside the windows confirms it further. I turn and pick myself off of the futon, swaying slightly as I put my arms out for balance. I suppose I'd better go look for the girls to see if they're all right. As I look out the window, I faintly see something in the distance. Straining my eyes, I can just make out the shape of a person's figure. Her long blonde hair swaying in the faint breeze makes her almost seem to melt into the bright yellow of the wheat field. Without a second thought, I leave the room to follow that lone apparition. The brightness of the setting sun assaults my freshly woken eyes, forcing me to avert them until they adjust. The long yellow strands of wheat brush against my legs as I wade through them, the densely grown field making it hard to advance. Regardless, my eyes stay fixed ahead, true to that solitary figure. Within minutes I reach her, meters behind her turned back. Lilly? She simply nods. Where's Hanako? She's in bed. She went to sleep after I calmed her down. She says it matter-of-factly and with as few words as possible, as if saying any more was strictly forbidden. There's something different about her. Her normally confident figure seems oddly fragile, her body offering no resistance to the breeze blowing her skirt. The strands of wheat sway from side to side while a deafening pause passes, the only sound being their rustling. As we stand in the field alone, I know what I have to ask. What's wrong, Lilly? You're not acting like you usually do. Remember when I talked of my family, Hisao? Your family? I looked downwards in thought, sifting through my scattered memories. The event seems to leap ready to hand when I search for it, rising to the surface as soon as it was recalled. I'm surprised that the bell is tamed for today. I know, right? After Hanako's birthday party? She gives a single, simple nod. It was nice back then. You and I, celebrating with Hanako, simply sharing presents, talking, having fun together. It was almost as if we were a family. One small, misshapen family. I thought that could just go on forever, just the three of us, happily together. She takes a long breath, a slight shakiness to it, just barely audible through the moving air. Even if my family was so far away, as long as we were together, that was all I needed. I don't want to lose you, Sal. I didn't even realize how afraid I was of losing someone else until today. I'm sorry, Lilly. I know my body's weak, but even then I make the most stupid of mistakes. Don't apologize, please. Don't apologize. Lilly? She turns to face me, her pale cheeks stained with tears. One misguided step after another, she stumbles towards me, her arms held out in search of so much as a faint brush against me. Hug. Alright, I'll start it. My heart doesn't race nor pound as I step towards Lilly, gently taking and steadying her in my arms as she quickly clutches to me, sobbing. Damn, hugging before marriage. With her face trembling against my shoulder, the next words from her mouth are the last I expected. I love you, Hisao. I love you, 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 I love you. Don't go away, I beg of you, never ever go away. I love you, so please. I feel like this is my wallpaper for a very long time. It's a good wallpaper. I feel like we kind of stumbled into this. We didn't really do much. We didn't really have to do much to get here. Which just makes me worried for the rest of this route, you know? So, that's why she's been acting like this. That tender voice when I called her. Her thoughtless concern at the slightest pain I might feel. After having been left in Japan without her family and with only Akira, Hanako and me around, she was afraid of losing yet another person who was close to her. She was genuinely worried for me. Strange feeling, a mix of surprise and sorrow, yet also of the deepest gratitude I think I've ever felt. The only reaction I can muster among my conflicting emotions is a calm sigh. You idiot. It's how? For a fleeting moment, I feel her body become still. The only movement to be felt is the calm afternoon breeze. I said it before, didn't I? It's only natural to feel concerned about those around you. I'm still here, and I'll always be here, because I want to see you more each day, to share in your happiness, to support you in your sadness. But most of all, I'll still be here because I don't want to fucking die. I'll still be here because I want to see your smile, your true smile. A single gust of wind rustles the long strands of wheat. A second's silence passes. Smile when you want to smile, cry when you want to cry. I love you, Lily, so you don't have to hold back anymore. With that, her arms clutch my back as tightly as she can, her face buried beside mine. Her tears fall down my back, and she cries unrestrainedly as the last of her resistance melts away. Hisao, Hisao, Hisao. It's a little early to be calling me. I close my eyes and bring my head down to her shoulder, holding her shaking frame tightly. It's okay, Lily. I'll never go away. I promise. Well, that ruined the moment. It sure did. We slowly walk back to the house, holding each other tightly as we take a seat inside. Lily leans her head onto my shoulder as I put my arm around her waist. Just keep throwing it. Neither of us has any want to break the silence, aside from Chad, who apparently just wants to keep throwing Angie. With her eyes shut, it's hard to work out whether she's fallen asleep. Not that I mind. The warmth of her body leaning against me, the softness of her hand delicately held in mine. For a long, long time, we sit leaning against one another, sharing our warmth and feeling as night eventually begins to settle in. Lily's gentle, soft voice ends the silence. Fuck you. Thank you, Hisao. Thank you for returning my feelings. Did you think I wouldn't? There was the possibility. I took a deep breath and thought, that much was only my fault. It's funny, actually. I was thinking of telling you about my feelings sometime soon. I guess, in that way, you saved me the effort. She raises her head a little and gives a tiny, amused giggle. I smile at how earnest it is, so girlish in its lightness. She collects herself soon afterward, her hair resting against my shoulder. Feeling a bit better?
Wrestling is sharing warmth.
Shut up. She gives a small nod. You are thoughtful, Hisao. That's why I like you. I'm sorry I'm like this. As much as I didn't want to make you concerned for me, I couldn't do anything to prevent it. Don't apologize for it. Please don't. Lily? Have I ever apologized for my blindness, even once? You can't help the way you were born,
We
Sal.
exchange the warmth through vigorous grappling.
There's no point in apologizing for who you are. Alright, that actually confirms the question that I had but didn't ask. Was Lily born blind or did she become blind? She was born blind. Okay. There's so many people being thrown outside Lily's house. She says this with surprising conviction. In the end, it was perhaps this mentality which spurred her to befriend me in such a short time, in addition to her motherly instincts. She did
I
seem
am
to...
sure Hanako would love that grappling.
God, shut up. She did seem to become trusting very quickly, but I never questioned why. Now, it seems obvious that she did so to help me as I went through one of the lowest points of my life. I moved to respond, but cut myself off as I feel her fingers run gently through my hair. I feel their soft and delicate touch moving downwards to trace the contours of my face, her palm finally settling on my cheek.
Lily's house having so many people thrown around like it's a smash stage.
You are a beautiful person, Isao. Please don't ever apologize for that. For a moment, I'm utterly speechless. I slowly bend my head down, placing a tender kiss on her light, voluminous
Game.
hair. Game! We're a couple of right old fools, ain't we? We are.
I mean, it is a smash stage, in more way than one.
After a long calm, she speaks again. Isao? Yes? I wouldn't mind if you... I feel her hand tensing under mine, trembling slightly. My mouth opens, but try as I might, I can't formulate a response to her proposition. Lily? Before I can say another word, she slips her hand from under mine and tenderly holds the side of my face once more. They're gonna, guys, it's happening, they're gonna do it! Fish. I mean, I know they're talking about, just a kiss, but like, low-key, I wouldn't be surprised if fish just show up.
It's a three-way battle royal, items allowed.
I give a peaceful smile, just grab her by the head, holding her hand against my cheek as I nod a single time. Okay. As I look into her eyes, she leans towards me. Her delicate lips touch mine as she guides herself with her hand. She breaks off not a second later, faintly smiling. I love you, Hisao. We kiss again, this time with both of us meeting the other. Wait, no, it really did happen! What the... Hanako's in the other room! What the fuck, guys? Chinchilla! After being woken by a sound, I open my eyes with a measure of reluctance. Turning my head to the left, I find the rain outside sweeps against the windows loudly. Spray after wind-blown spray lashes against the glass, as if trying its hardest to make up for the summer's previous heat. Oh, Botrix, I hate you so much. What is... I can't figure out how to turn off Botrix responding.
Hanako really got burned being the third wheel.
Oh my god, shut up. I sit up in the futon.
Have you ever felt trapped in a dream before? Like, even if you were to scream as loudly as you could, it feels like nobody would hear?
I sit up in the futon, holding the back of my neck to try and subdue the pain from my awkward sleeping position. By all accounts, I should be lamenting the turn in the weather, given that this is our last day here. The events of yesterday refuse to stop flooding my mind, though. The feeling of holding Lily's crying body in my arms, the rush of lust and hormones that flowed through us as we spent the night together. Seems almost futile to try and rationalize everything that happened. In an attempt to distract myself, I groan and lean over to retrieve my bag without standing. Pulling out one bottle after another, I take the daily regiment's worth of pills from the containers and swallow them without further ado. It took a surprisingly short amount of time to get used to swallowing pills without water. That said, I suppose the same thing goes for getting used to living in a school for disabled students. Remembering Yamaku, I became all the more grateful for having the chance to get away, even if it's just for the shortest of times. I appreciate the chance to spend time alone with Lily and Hanako, away from the bustle of school life, even considering the latest complications. I never thought I'd say it, but the idea of living away from the city as in a nice, tranquil area is an inviting one. It's a thought that, barely a year ago, would have seemed simply ludicrous. A flash of pink, no doubt Hanako's gown, peeks from around the corner. Realizing I must look a sight since I've only just woken up, I slap the remaining pills into my mouth and run a hand through my hair. Good morning, Hisao. I heard you too. Good. I reply to her, completely forgetting that I'm in the middle of swallowing a particularly large pill. Coughing and spluttering, I violently gag on it. You gotta hurt one girl to be a harem game. Hisao. After sputtering loudly and tapping my chest a couple of times to force it down, I managed to recover. I'm fine. Sorry. God, I was swallowing. Sorry, I didn't mean to... I hold my hand up, gesturing for Hanako to stop. I gagged. It's my fault. Morning, Hanako. She pauses a moment before bowing in reply. Staggering in behind Hanako is the familiar figure of Lily, also dressed in her pajamas. With her eyes full of sleep and hair bedraggled, she's a sight to behold. Hi. Oh, hi, Lily. Good morning, Isao.
He shouldn't be the one swallowing. I am sure Lily was swallowing as well. Hanako is feeling the heat now.
I'm gonna have... Hanako's route is just gonna be full of this. Lily's route's been surprisingly tame. But Hanako, oh my word. Hanako has like half the screen time of Lily on this route, and you guys are just going nuts. For a while, silence hangs in the air as neither of us knows what to do. Given what happened last night, we both have more than enough reason to be finding this situation awkward. Just how are we meant to react to meeting each other after something like that? The best course of action would probably be to talk to Lily alone to set things in order. I'll start making breakfast. Lily evidently catches onto my train of thought.
We
I'll
haven't
help.
made many blind jokes because she can't see chat.
I'll help. Hanako, could you set the table? She nods, her head disappearing into a cupboard as she quickly goes about her assigned task. I rub a little more sleep out of my eyes as I wander over the fridge and take out some milk. And Lily grabs various brightly colored boxes from some of the lower cupboards to my side. While we make the rather bland-looking meal, I whisper somewhat more quietly than usual. Knowing Lily's hearing, she won't have any trouble catching what I say. Are you okay, Lily? After last night? She gives a delicate nod, her expression weak. Though her tiredness surely plays a part, she seems genuinely unsure about what's happened between us, and how to move ahead. Can't say I blame her, considering my feelings are the same. I'm sorry, Hisao. I wasn't thinking straight yesterday. I never stopped to consider you or Hanako, and I even went as far as... She's winding herself up. With her hands and voice both tightening, I give her a gentle bump to try to lighten up the situation. You don't have to apologize. I said I liked you as well, after all. But as her composure begins to falter, it becomes obvious there's no alternative. Turning to Lily, I gently embrace her tall frame. She offers no resistance at all. Thankfully pulling back, just on the edge of her emotions. Despite our reassuring embrace lasting only a matter of seconds, I notice Hanako wordlessly walked.
Did she use American inches or EU metric last night?
What? Shut up! I notice Hanako wordlessly watching. The plate in her hand hovers inches above the table. Her action halted midway by the sight.
So Emmy is fish and Lily is chinchilla? So will Hanako's screen a fireplace?
You are all the worst. The clatter of utensils against plates is the only sound to be heard as we silently eat. Whereas before only two of us may have been unsure of ourselves, the entire situation has changed. After weeks of blissful friendship, whiling away the days with shared meals and chatter with little meaning, the relationship of Lily and me, no, out of all of us, has irreversibly changed. I can't take this. Lily, she sullenly nods, gently laying her spoon onto the plate in front of her. Neither of us knows exactly how we regard each other, let alone how Monica would view us. This might seem abrupt, but I've confessed to Hisao. For a moment, Hanako looks almost confused, precisely the reaction I thought she would have. She eventually nods, her spoon still in her mouth as she does. Did you accept? I did. She gives a smile so large and so earnest I find myself blushing. I think it's the brightest I've ever seen her expression look. And I'm happy. I'm really, really happy. Thank you, Hanako. You're so much nicer than Chad is. I'm sorry for not telling you anything about it before. Things have been... Hanako shakes her head from side to side emphatically, apparently forgetting in her rush that Lily couldn't possibly notice. She begins fiddling with her fingers, looking a little more nervous than she did before. Not even Satan doesn't want to touch her feet. Chad is going to hell. That's a strange way to say we're going to see Hanako. Oh my god. To be honest, I began to think you might like each other a while ago. At first, I didn't really know what to think about it, but I decided in the end that if my friends are happy, then I'm happy. I was really glad to have another friend when we met Hisao, so you finding love through him is even better, right? A feeling of relief at her acceptance of our relationship falls over me like a wave. The same happens to Lily, judging by her expression. Thank you, Hanako. I really appreciate you being so understanding. Lily's voice still sounds slightly apologetic, or at least unsure. This doesn't escape Hanako, who appears lost in thought for a few moments before turning to me. Hisao, do you mind if Lily and I go outside for a bit? Ah, no, feel free. Hanako? Hanako gets up from her seat, taking Lily's hand and almost dragging her from the table in her excitement. Considering Lily's typically slow and steady pace, Hanako's haste makes her footing awkward and she almost loses her balance a couple of times. It's a pretty amusing sight.
The burning you feel it is. Oh yeah.
The burning you feel? It is shame. It's a pretty amusing sight, leaving me wordless as I watch them disappear out the door.
Hanako got really close to the stove before she broke up with it.
Shut up. Why are we bullying Hanako so much? Come on! Come on! This is Lily's route! Why are we bullying Hanako? She's just gonna get twice the bullying because we're gonna do her route immediately after. It's with love! It's only now that I realize the rain stopped, being replaced by a sky seemingly all the more vivid and bright to make up for the morning's drab gray expanse. Watch when Hanako's route happens, they'll bully Lily. For Hanako, this must be a pretty big revelation. Lily and I are really the only people she associates with, almost as if we were parents in her own stead. Aww. I suppose that might well be the best way to describe the relationship we share. A father, mother, and daughter, all playing around in our little make-believe family as if it could last forever. You know, for all of the VNs you chose, it could always be worse. You could be playing School Days. It's lost on me. I don't know what School Days is, I think. She's been hearing her parents do wrestling the whole night. Oh my god. It might be a strange dynamic, and one that certainly can't last for long, but maybe, just for this one small moment, it's okay. As I stand from the table and go to join Lily and Hanako in the fields outside, I nod to myself in affirmation. This one small moment of happiness, no matter how brief, will last with me, with all of us, forever. Submerged deep in the hot water, I let a drawn-out sigh escape my lips. The feeling of seemingly every muscle in my body relaxing is euphoric. I have no idea how long it's been.
Trust me, you don't want to know. They shouldn't have told me, but they did. Now I'm telling you, you don't want to know.
Alright. I have no idea how long it's been since I had a genuine hot bath, but right now I can hardly be bothered trying to remember. Maybe I'm giving the simple fact that for once I get to have a real bath more credit than it's due. The chance to just calm down, allow myself to unwind, and have some time to myself is a welcome one. Hanako, Lily, and I wandered about outside, exploring the extent of the surprisingly large tract of land surprising the house. Then we spent the majority of the afternoon resting, watching television, reading, and playing cards. May not have been the most exciting finale to the trip, but such tranquil peacefulness is something to savor. Even after we return to the school tomorrow, I think I'll remember this little house in Hokkaido for a long time. It's a pity we only have a couple more hours to spend here before going to get the train back. All I can do is yawn contentedly while I watch the steam slowly rising from the clear water's placid surface, my eyes eventually locking onto the ceiling. Is it incest if you go for honey? Shut up! It's a make-believe family, it's fine. Also, for even suggesting that, our exams are imminent. I've barely studied at all for them. On top of that, I don't even know what I'll do after graduation. Passing exams is all well and good, but to what end? Also, now, of all times, I'm getting into a relationship. What the hell am I doing? I guess I shouldn't think like that. What's done is done, and maybe this could be viewed as just another aspect of my new life that I'm working on. Just marry Lily and become a house husband. Her family's got the money. You gold digger, Hisao, you. I enjoy being with Lily, and there's more to life than school and a career, after all. As I busily attempt to rationalize all that's happened, I hear a series of raps on the door. I pick myself up and sit upright, trying to figure out the source. 3, no more and no less. Light, yet assertive in their tapping, and timed regularly enough to tune a metronome. I'd be extremely surprised if it wasn't Lily. Hey, I come in? Yeah, it's Lily. I'm still in the bath. I'll be out in a sec. I know. The voice, it's gonna happen again. The voice coming from the other side of the door freezes me. After a second's thought, I rest on the side of the bath and let my arms dangle over the side. Despite trying my best to play it off, I can't help letting my mind wander. Sure, come in. I wear my hair, I'm ending in Katawa Shoujo. What a cop-out. With that, she opens the door, slowly walking into the room
I'll
and closes...
admit I liked Gold Digger, but K.N. West is a crazy person.
With that, she opens the door, slowly walking into the room and closing it behind her. She looks oddly calm, countering my racing heart. Hey, Lily. Yeah! Damn! Where's poor Hanako in all this? After a chaotic dash to the station and finding our seats in the otherwise deserted carriage, we promptly crashed. Looking at the time, close to midnight, it's a little surprised that you take this particular train. Or it's a little surprise. Hanako was fast asleep on Lily's shoulder, and I can only barely muster the energy to stay awake. The excitement we had a while ago probably didn't help. I'd probably be pretty depressed about going back to school if my brain was actually working. As it is, though, the sight of the nighttime scenery scrolling by is surprisingly beautiful. My loud yawn is nearly wholly drowned out by the clanking of the train tracks and the old carriages rattling. So tired. And whose fault is that, Isao? She really does toe the line between insulting and amusing sometimes. Though I manage to wring out a weary smile. I look back out the window, my reflection just visible on the clear pane. Truth be told, she's perfectly correct. If it weren't for that little interlude an hour ago, or a few hours ago, both of us would have a lot more energy. Damn, Lily. Right? On top of that, we both had to take another bath, very nearly making us late for the train's departure. Yeah, it was fine. Still, getting into a bath with a guy is a dangerous thing to do. Evidently. Sorry, I guess I kind of took advantage of the situation back there.
Hanako got friend-zoned so hard this trip she must feel the burn.
I know, right? I feel bad. I thought they would, like, save the yacht to, like, after the trip, but no! Well, I didn't exactly hate it. As she trails off, I look back to her.
Plot twist: Lily is actually the one with the harem in this trio.
Can't tell what's wrong with Chad, then again, I'm also one of them. Yeah, you sure are, aren't you? As she trails off, I look back to her. My eyes narrow as I see her slightly reddened cheeks and small grin. Her mind obviously elsewhere. Say it. I knew the possibility of it happening was there. I knew it. You're just as dirty-minded as I am. She quickly coughs into her free hand, making her disapproval crystal clear. That's a rather crude way of putting it. Oh, and what would you suggest? I merely have a healthy adolescent sex drive. So in other words, dirty-minded. Almost seeming to sense the moment, Hanako mumbles quietly as she furrows her brow in Lily's lap. Lily's look of disapproval melts away as she gently smiles and strokes her hand on Hanako's long, dark hair. You gotta remember, best rip the band-aid off and let Hanako have false expectations. There's a difference between doing that and, yeah. There's a difference between expectations and, let's say, extreme third-wheeling somebody. All I can do is watch and smile. If someone were to ask me when I fell in love with her, I wouldn't be able to answer. The best I'd be able to come up with is, it just happened at some point. I didn't realize it. If someone were to ask me why I love her, though, then I could answer much more easily. You really love Hanako, don't you? She gives a deep nod, smiling warmly. It's a pity we have to return to school. She seemed to relax so much while we were all away. Alright, I'm gonna save here like I have been doing. But how are we not gonna talk about Hanako? Come on now. Come on now. I wouldn't worry. Hanako's been gaining confidence thanks to you. At least for as long as I've known you two. She gives a self-deprecating sigh. I think I merely provided her with company and support. Since she came to know you, she's opened up much more, even to me. I get the feeling she's understanding her influence on Hanako, especially given that, before the two came to know each other, Hanako had no friends to speak of. The friends I'd had in my previous school fulfilled what I'd had expected of them. For the most part, simply being there for idle chatter, but in Hanako and Lily, there really feels to be more to their relationship. One part of me envies it, but another can't ignore the fact that the school year will eventually end. After graduation, I really have no idea what Hanako will do. This trip has shown me just how much we've all come to depend on one another. Indeed, we're all going to have to make decisions. Maybe that's the reason why, despite our return to school also heralding a return to the normalcy of everyday life, I can't help feeling a little restless. On the bright side, it won't take long for the summer holidays to arrive after our exams are finished. You could come back here during the summer holidays if you want. For a moment, she thinks on the notion, her face becoming somewhat distant. I can only guess she's reflecting on all that's happened here. That would be good, I think. I nod approvingly, smiling at her. Summer, together with Lily. This idea seems like the perfect way to spend our holiday. That's Act 3. Wow, Act 3 was actually kind of short.
Hisao and Lily know each other's body pretty well, unlike Hanako, who can only see it.
Shut up! After the excitement of our trip to Hokkaido, it seems strange to be right back to the usual daily routine so soon. Indeed, it feels like a normal day, same as any other. Well, that's what I'd like to think anyway. To tell the truth, the atmosphere of the entire class, no, the entire school has changed. While an undercurrent of subdued trepidation had previously pervaded the class, now that the exams are in sight, it's boiled over into frantic studying rarely seen otherwise. One day until exams start. Terrific, really. But instead of studying, we went and wasted our trip up north. We were such model students, too. Glancing around the class, even the bubbly, ever-energetic Misha seems oddly deflated. She sits at her desk, nervously chewing a pen while Muto lectures from the front of the class. Wait, on closer inspection, I do believe she's eating it. Tearing my eyes from the sorry spectacle, I turn my attention elsewhere. Hanako sits frantically scribbling in her notebook, her face mere inches away from the page, seemingly trying to record every word that leaves Muto's mouth. Shizune as well. Shizune, cool as a cucumber. She sits diligently taking notes with her attention wholly focused on the front of the class. Truth be told, it's what I should be doing as well, if not for the fact that I feel like I have a pretty good handle on what's being covered already. I wonder how Lily's doing. While she does have a good head on her, she has plenty on her plate, unlike me. Her class representative duties, taking care of Hanako, her other social contacts, her extra English studies. That girl really does take on a lot. Ah, Stern! The lunchtime bell brings a sigh of relief from the entire class, Muto being no exception. I get the feeling he much prefers the more laid-back atmosphere of his normal classes to the frantic pace of exam preparation we're subjected to right now. Hee-chan! Help me! I lower my eyelids to half-mast, making clear my intention of doing quite the opposite. Help me, help me, help me. Not going well? Hee-chan's going to be fine, but I think I might die. Am I gonna die, Hee-chan? Will you let me die from all this work? How maudlin. I've never seen that word before in my life. Given that she's neither the brightest student in the class, and apparently neither am I, nor the most diligent, it isn't a great surprise that she's finding it hard to cope with the workload. Sorry, Misha, but I've got my own work to do. I thought you and Shizune would be studying together over the long weekend anyway. Studying's too boring to waste a holiday on, Hee-chan. Shopping together was much more fun, wasn't it, Shi-chan? It's only now that I realize Shizune has been looking over to us, and that Misha's arms have been moving likely all this time. I must be really zoned out to not have noticed. What is it with girls and shopping, anyway? Even Lily and Hanako have dragged me out with them a couple of times. Oh, she's gonna pick up on that. But you win anyway. It's so rare to see a guy that likes going shopping. Well, my role would probably be best described as pack mule. I Can't say I share your enthusiasm about the experience. Back to the exams, anyway. You studied after you got back from the days off, didn't you, Shizune? Of course, Ichan. It's only sensible to study in the days before. Misha makes a sound vaguely similar to a dying cow as she realizes her folly and unceremoniously flops onto her desk. Betrayed even by her best friend. Judging from Shizune's quite frustrated look at Misha, she probably told her to study just as study as she did. Don't worry, you can still gain some grades if you start studying now. Maybe. Misha does not seem overly amused. It seems the bubbly balloon of everlasting cheerfulness has been cruelly popped. Shizune's signing goes unnoticed by the moping Misha, earning her a quick poke in the shoulder.
Don't worry, Hisao did study physics during the break.
Earning a quick poke in the shoulder. It takes barely a moment for Misha to get back into form. So what did you do over the weekend, Hichan? Fuck! Just took a trip up north with Lilly and Hanako. It was pretty nice. I see both of them narrowing their eyes at me, their minds surely in the gutter. The fact that their suspicions are founded makes the situation all the more awkward. We just studied and went sightseeing. There's nothing more to it. She knows. Misha knows. After such a flagrant lie, I realized that it might not have been the best step, considering Shizune's connections and her total lack of restraint when it comes to questioning someone she suspects of telling untruths. I really have no idea how she's going to take it, but she'll find out eventually anyway. It isn't as if it's really her business who I date, in any case. And yes, Lilly and I are going out now. While Misha receives the news with an enthusiastic smile, Shizune gives off a look of mild surprise, somewhat masked by her cool demeanor. They read the script. Well, Misha did. Whoever you date is your business. I hope you two go well together. Misha gives a look that says this is the most quarter I could possibly receive on the matter. It's all I wanted, really. After she says this, though, Shizune begins to sign something else, then stops herself and shakes her head at Misha to prevent her from translating. Normally, I'd think this strange enough, but the awkwardly casual wave Shizune gives up before walking off with Misha in tow adds to my confusion. Shizune is hardly the kind of person to pull a punch or communicate without forethought. I shrug my shoulders at the duo's odd behavior and look towards Hanako's desk, but see that her chair is empty. She was definitely here before, so I guess she just didn't feel like waiting. I'll go grab some food alone, then. Yeah, we haven't, talked to Kenji in a while, have we? Walking down the hallway to the unused room that's become a second home to 3 students in particular, I mournfully look down at the plastic-wrapped salad roll and juice box in my hand. The cafeteria's food really is unappetizing. Maybe I'll consider this my penance for my recent indiscretions. Opening the door, I notice one less quiet figure than I expected. Grabbing some food, just grab Lilly. Shut up! It's strange. Despite having known Lilly for months, I can't help thinking back to the very first time I opened this door and saw her silently sitting in the sunlight. Just as she did then, she slowly opens her eyes, unmoving as they are, and calmly addresses me. Good morning, Isao. It's afternoon, I think. Has Hanako been around? She skittered out of class without me even noticing. Lilly cradles her cheek thoughtfully as I take a seat, my bag taking its place against the closest leg of the table, my unsatisfying meal neatly set out in front of me. She did appear, for a time. She said she had to study for the upcoming exams and left for the library. We find ourselves not entirely believing her words. Well, at least her intentions are in the right place. She is sweet, but she didn't go this far to let us have our space. I might talk to her about it sometime. Probably for the best. For a while, we quietly eat our meals, Lilly elegantly nibbling on her sandwiches and sipping her tea, as I eat what tastes like a garden sandwiched in dry dough. The atmosphere feels slightly strange, neither of us knowing quite what to say to each other now that our small talk is dried up. I swear, we are in the middle of school. If I see fish, I'm going to be really concerned. Eventually, we both finish our food with no conversation forthcoming for quite some time. Eventually, though, Lily's soft voice breaks the silence. A lot happened back there, didn't it? Mm-hmm. Again, silence. With both our minds on the same topic, though, I think I have my feelings on that sorted out. I know everything happened in kind of a hurry, but I don't regret anything that happened in Hokkaido. Not one thing. Isao. Slightly tense, I take her hands in mine. Have to feel her, have to settle my own nerves. Is this Mario Bros? No. No, I don't think so. I don't think this is Mario Bros. I'll have to get back to you on that one, though. I stand by my words back there, Lily. It can be if you try hard enough. I see the vision. I stand by my words back there, Lily. I love you, and I won't leave you. I only wish for you to think the same. She silently reflects for a long time, which feels like an eternity. Her reverie comes to an end as she takes one hand from mine, placing it over them as she leans her body forward and stands out of her chair. After a moment's hesitation, her face slightly pensive, her lips meet mine for a brief moment. My mind feels as if it has briefly stopped at that moment, barely registering Lily sitting back in her chair and smiling back at me with ever so slightly reddened cheeks. Hearing that makes me very happy, Hisao. I would be glad to stay with you. Maybe it would be good to slow things down a bit, compared to before. We still have school after all, and our exams. She gives a mischievous giggle, which proves to be contagious. That might be a good idea indeed. Do you think you'll fare well in your exams? It's only one day until they arrive, as you say. I probably should have studied more, but I think I've got a good enough head to manage. That said, I had to bat off Misha and Shizune. Was your class as worried about the exams as mine? She lets out an exasperated sigh, all but confirming it. I'm thankful for the atmosphere becoming a bit lighter. I think so. I've already been asked for help by 2 of my classmates, and there'll no doubt be more. Think of it as your first training in being a teacher, maybe? That's probably a good way to think of it. On that note, how are you faring in your English studies? I remember it was far from your strongest subject, and the few sentences you memorized to speak to my mother aren't likely to help. Damn, right on the mark. You got me. If you don't mind, would you possibly be able to help in that regard? Please? It would be my pleasure to help you, Isao, but in exchange... She lowers her eyebrows at me, her coquette-ish nature tentatively coming to the fore. No problem at all. You'd probably be better off with some help in your studies. Oh, wrong voice. No problem at all. You'd probably be better off with some help in your studies, though. She beams a smile at me, one of girlish victory that nearly makes me blush. I get the feeling she's aware of how to use her face to twist my judgment, so I should probably be more on guard. Here and now, though, a study group seems like an expedient way for both of us to shore up on our more lacking skills. The school bell rings out, reminding us that time isn't going to stand still. Huh, lunchtime's over already. Sure is easy to lose track of time here. This room's so far from the other clubs and activities, not much sound can reach us. That's probably most of the reason why. A place far from all the others, alone with just one person whom she loves. As Lily stands and collects her bag and cane, my thoughts are cast back to the time we spent in Hokkaido. Before I go, Akira and I are having a homecoming party in my room tomorrow. Will you be able to come? And back again. My schedule is free, so I should be able to make enough room in my study time to make it. Shut up, Stern! Good to hear, Sal. For what it's worth, I'm glad you're back from Scotland. Once exams are over, we should have more time to ourselves. Holidays start soon after, too. We can start the holidays with Tanabata then, just as we promised at the school festival. She brings her hand to her cheek and laughs slightly nervously, recalling the event as I silently thank myself for managing to remember. It seems odd to see her react in such a way, though it's not like I never saw her embarrassed before. I'd better be going. Farewell, Isao. Bye. Whether it's out of habit or just a stubborn desire for one small fragment of normality, I hold my hand up in farewell just as I always do. At least I'm consciously aware that I'm doing it now. I think I'm beginning to see a bigger picture than I ever did before. Not only with Lilly, but also my life ahead. The chains of my fast are finally breaking. Okay, I think we'll finish
But
exam.
Lily certainly loved Hisao's carrot. She certainly can see better now.
I think we'll finish exams, and then that'll be it for today. And then we'll come back next time and maybe even finish Lilly Route. Who knows? Walking up the now slightly more familiar corridor of the girls' dormitories, I can hear the faint sound of laughter coming from up ahead. That wasn't laughter. Finish the health exam. God damn it. It doesn't take long to identify the source as Lily's room, though the deep timbre of the female voice unmistakably belongs to her. Not to her, but her sister. I rap my knuckles on the door with the usual three light taps, my hand barely retreating as the door swings open. Hi, Akira. Hey, Sal. Hey. Hello, Lily. Hanako. Wait a minute, you used this image before. Hanako looks up
Will
tentatively.
Hisao finish in Lily in that time frame?
Not while his sister's here, I hope. Hanako looks up tentatively, her hands buried in her oversized pink nightgown. From her side, Lily turns sideways towards the direction of my voice and smiles. It would be a flagrant lie to say I dislike the sight of her in those pajamas. I catch Akira giving me a sidelong look with a knowing grin, to which I reply with a sharp glare. She takes the hint, shrugs, and walks back to the low table in the center of the room. As I go to join her, Lily gives me a nod of greeting and starts pouring me a cup of tea. It's nice to see you. Oh, wrong voice. It's nice to see you again, Hanako. You've been getting around recently. 67, just 2 more bells to go. I find it very interesting looking, seeing how the horny bells really slow down once we start to get around the 60s. Everyone's very afraid to be the one to bring it to 68 because they very quickly want to jump on the 69. Lily wears a look of concentration as the light brown liquid, carefully measured by her finger as always, flows from the teapot into the cup. Alright, and then you just don't care. There it is immediately after. See? It seems Hanako has taken up helping one of the people in your class. Oh, wrong voice. It seems Hanako has taken up helping one of the people in your class with a newspaper cub. Naomi, I think? Hanako gives an affirmative nod. Even after spending about 2 months in class, I still have trouble remembering the names of those students I rarely talk with. It takes me a few mental contortions to connect the name with a face, but I eventually remember the girl that sits beside Hanako at the back of the class. Naomi Inoue. A fairly average-looking girl, except for her bleached blonde hair. Given her upbeat and straightforward personality, Naomi may have seen an opening to poach Hanako for her club when she inquired about joining one. Either way, it's nice to see Hanako broadening her horizons. When I first met her, the idea of her joining a club with anyone but Lily would have seemed utterly laughable. That explained how busy you've been. Enjoying it? It's really interesting. As always, Hanako's far from being talkative. Some things never change, and it seems that Hanako's personality is one of them. She'll likely always be one to shy away from being overly social. Warned by the sound of crockery against the table as Lily gently places my drink in front of me, I thank her and take a long sip. Hanako and Lily are attending to their own, and Akira is quaffing a mug of strong-smelling black coffee. You're a lucky bastard, Isao. Huh? I can't help grimacing at her teasing smile, still visible around the edges of the mug pressed to her lips. Seeing my sister in her pajamas, there's a lot of men out there who'd like to be where you are. I've seen a lot more than that of her, not that I'd admit it. Akira. Hey, I'm just teasing. She leans over to me as much as she can, whispering with a sly grin written on her face. And Hanako too, you perv. Look at that face. Hey, it was her idea. We both look over to her face turned to the ground and her hands fidgeting in the lap of her nightgown. If it's Tisao, I don't mind. This could be bad. I know Hanako's altogether too innocent to bother reading too much into such a thing, but the expression Akira directs at me is positively stormy. Akira, please. It seems Lilly can sense Akira's sudden change in aura just as well as I, even without seeing it for herself. Akira slowly looks away from me, like an attack dog leashed by its owner in the nick of time. I breathe a sigh of relief. Akira knows that he saw more than just pajamas. I can't think of a more appropriate time to try and change topics than around now. If you don't mind me asking, Akira, what do you even do for a living? I've never seen you out of that suit. Thinking about what to do with yourself after school's over, eh? I'm a lawyer, for the most part. I work in the legal department of the Japanese branch of our family's company. The most boring possible answer, I suppose.
The question is, how much did Hanako see?
Law is a pretty dry topic to most people. Kinda. Oh wait, you're not supposed to agree. Lilly gives an amused giggle while holding her teacup and saucer. Hanako quickly joining her. This friendly atmosphere between everyone is something I'd missed while Lilly and Akira were on their trip.
Everything. That's why the bath was still hot.
While the dealings I had with Hanako didn't help, I think just not having Lilly around changed the mood. It's nice to be back. I missed you, Hisao. And you too, Hanako. Same goes for the both of us. I'm guessing your classmates were happy to see you back. In a manner of speaking, yes. Akira's amused snort shows she's well aware of Lilly's attitude towards such figures of speech. I imagine she'd have to be, given how long they've been together. Did you have fun in Scotland? For a moment, I wonder why she's asking. It's having been quite a while since they came back, but then I remember that everything that happened. We've simply not had time to look back, what with exams and our Hokkaido trip. Stop ignoring us. You want to be noticed, huh? You want me to see you? Too bad. You've been too naughty today, chat. I can't acknowledge that. Lily's face goes distant for a moment, and the fact that Akira's first reaction is to look over to her sister doesn't escape me. Nonetheless, she quickly collects herself. Notice me, naughty carrot man. It was nice. We hadn't met our family in such a long time, so it was a wonderful reunion. Yeah, I guess that's right. Their house being beachside was the best part, though. From her dismissive tone, I get the feeling Akira doesn't like their family as much as Lilly does. You only like that because you finally had time to play around. Just because I'm the better swimmer. I don't take after the athletic side of the family, that's all. Well, you can take heart in the fact that you got the height genes at least. And the bust genes. That's not really the right kind of thing to say around others. Though Lilly pretends to scold Akira, she does so with an unmistakable, slightly cheeky grin on her face. I doubt Akira really minds that, judging from her nonchalant expression. Well, I don't either. Hanako's looking down and blushing furiously beside me. The sisters' antics aside, their parents really do lead a...
Forget the beach side. The bedside was better.
Shut up. It seems utterly divorced from the life that
She
Lilly...
certainly was athletic in the bath and bed.
Certainly was athletic in the bed, bath, and beyond. Sorry, I laugh at my own jokes. I'm an idiot. It seems utterly divorced from the life that Lilly and Akira have lived until now. I suppose practicality must have made the decision for them. To have come from such a wealthy and well-connected lineage only adds to the almost noble air Lily seems to have, though. It's a small wonder none of it seems to have rubbed off onto Akira. They really are as little alike as siblings could be. Their only similarity seems to be their shared confidence, which can be both endearing and a headache at times. Most of the night continues much the same, with Hanako eventually leaving the Sato sisters and me to ourselves as she heads back to her dorm room for a rest. For a while, only the barely audible sound from Lily's teacup and saucer can occasionally be heard as she slowly drinks. The silence is strained as Lily and I wait for the elephant in the room to be addressed. So... Lily dutifully puts her cup down, giving her sister her undivided attention. With Lily and me on one side of the low table and Kira at the other, this almost feels like a judge passing down a verdict. I hear that you two are going out now. I glance sideways at Lily to confirm her as the source of Akira's knowledge. She gives a gentle nod to Akira, which I mirror in affirmation. Deciding that this is the proper time and place to do so, and Akira being the closest figure to a parent Lily's had for much of her life, I bow deeply with my hands on the floor before me and my head very nearly the same. I'll take good care of your sister, Akira, I promise you. See, he's a lovely young gentleman. She must have heard my voice coming from a lower position than usual. I slowly bring myself back up, my eyes sensitively looking to Akira from under my brow. To tell the truth, I very much doubt my suited judge will raise any objections. She's very definitely the type to make her disapproval with others well known, something that lends to her a measure of respect in my eyes. The old-fashioned kind, huh? Well, he's the kind of person I guess you'd go for. I don't have a problem with it, and I wish you two the best. Even if I didn't like it, I couldn't really do anything anyway. I offer a nod of appreciation to her as Lily gives a small sigh of relief. Likely more out of duty than any actual belief Akira might have had any problems with us being together. I do wonder, though, how's the rest of the family taking it? Particularly the part residing at Yamaku. Have you told her? Smiles turn to grimaces as Akira grins downright evilly. Those closest know how to twist the knife best, after all. Putting up with it may be the best term for the situation. Don't you agree, Hisao? Yeah, that sounds about right. At least she's being reasonable about it. Good to hear. That girl can be a real handful, at the best of times. We sent a few messages back and forth during and just after the trip, and she was already busting my chops for seeing my boyfriend when we came back. After leaving Hideaki for so long, she really does care for the little guy. I cast my mind back to Shizune's odd reaction after telling her about our relationship, and decide not to bring it up. It's no doubt simply born of their mutual antipathy, and Akira's comments only back that up. Well then, that's settled. Gotta get to work early tomorrow, so I'd better be off. She rises from the table with a grunt, her hand on her knee to push herself up. I just notice Akira's eyes lingering on Lily for a couple of seconds before turning away, and she begins to take her leave. After she walks out the door, she stops and looks up thoughtfully before turning to us one last time. Don't get too crazy now, she says. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to tell you. Use protection every time. Let's go, Akira. I feel like they're not... I mean, maybe they still will, but I feel like they wouldn't do it after that, because it's like, she knows. I gag violently on the tea in my mouth. Contrary to my own, Lily's composure holds perfectly, as she seems entirely unfazed. I'm kind of impressed. We are, don't worry. Lily firing back strong. Atta girl, see yas. And with that, she turns and strides away, a hand held high as she disappears into the darkened hallway, closing the door behind her. The most reaction I can muster is flopping forwards onto the table, completely drained of energy and truly exhausted by her. Lily's ability to hold her own against that suited devil is something I admire. She really is incredibly blunt. I don't think I'll ever be able to keep up with your sister's energy. As I feel Lily's soft hand come to rest on my own, I roll my head to the side to see her gently smiling. For a long time, we simply sit beside each other silently. Given her unquestionably unusual height, she is pretty much exactly as tall as I am, probably a couple centimeters higher if anything. Like this, she appears even taller. The feeling of her pale, soft hand against mine is a pleasant one, as if the sight of the thin, silken pajamas she wears, showing her, or as is the sight of her thin, silken pajamas she wears, showing her curves and collarbone. You do get on well, though, even if you do say that. I guess. You know, you two are a lot more alike than I first thought when I met you. Then it's a good thing I quickly stopped you from going after her, isn't it? Though she jokes about it, my assessment of my inability to keep up with Akira, either physically or mentally, was quite in earnest. Lilly's slow-paced and ladylike, almost motherly nature is perhaps the single thing that helped me most in my first weeks at Yamaku. Come to think of it. Wait, since when were we using protection? As I give a curious look to my side, Lily's cheek puff out as she huffs at me. Unlike you, I remembered. The packet is in the cupboard next to the sink. So I'm not the only one of us that takes a pill. In hindsight, I feel rather thoughtless for not remembering it all and leaving it to Lily. Looking over the cupboard she mentions, I notice again the knee-high piles of books around us that were here the other times I visited. For the most part, they're lined up against the wall to give a little more room around the table. Why don't you get a bookshelf for your books? It's odd to see books just piled around, especially given that your room looks so neat and orderly otherwise. They're easier to find this way. I know exactly which pile each book is in. Wouldn't you still know that after putting each set on a different shelf? That may be, but... So she's not immune to bouts of laziness after all. You have so many of them, it's kind of a shame we can't share our book sets despite both of us reading so much. She gives a short giggle. Come to think of it, why do you Oh, wrong voice. Come to think of it, why do you order your books through Yuko? I imagine there'd be plenty of sites that you could order books in Braille from, especially in English Braille. There are a lot of text-to-speech programs, too. She turns her head slightly away from me, which strikes me as somewhat surprising. I'm just not all that good with computers. I'm alright with typewriters and braillers, but that's about it. Her tone almost makes me chuckle. She's a prideful person, so admitting something like that must be difficult. So, Lily's the low-tech kind of person. Given her old-fashioned personality, it's not really a stunning surprise. I wouldn't worry about it. A lot of people aren't really that good with them, so it's not that unusual. That unusual. Now she's even more depressed. It feels like I'm twisting the knife rather than healing her wounds. With a bit of squirming, I shuffle my way closer to her, tentatively putting one hand around her waist to hug her. I'm still not really used to this kind of physical affection, but Lily seems to like it. I was half expecting fish, not gonna lie. Lily smiles as she turns to face me, a kiss being the reward for giving in to her. She draws me in, brushing my upper lip with hers before pressing against both. This way, every one of my senses is filled with her. The barely perceptible scent of her hair, her taste as her tongue fleetingly touches mine, the tenderness of her lips, the image of her filling my mind, the total silence apart from her faint breath. We may have kissed before, but even if this is more a kiss of simple affection than anything, it's still a new and pleasant situation. Judging from her vivid blush as she pulls back, it's obvious she feels the same as I do. Even if we're entirely alone, it still feels a little embarrassing to open up to each other this much. If we take everything day by day, I think that would be for the best. Small steps, right? Yeah, just small steps. We have plenty of time to be together, even after the school year is over. As long as we move together, I think everything will work out okay. Neither of us is going anywhere soon, after all. For now, I'm just thankful for the small moment in time we can spend together. Fish, 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 fish. Okay. Good. You got exams tomorrow. You two kids gotta be focusing on your exams, not... Yeah. I said I was gonna go to exams, but I think this is actually a good stopping point. Oops, I didn't mean to click that. Somebody remind me to read the previous text next time we start, okay? Okay. Let's head to Just Chat. Well, that was fun. Clipped. Thanks for clipping it for me. I will probably not see it in time. Yeah, that's a good way of seeing a reminder. It's not bad. I'll hopefully, probably, maybe see it in time. Oh. So I think we have 1, maybe 2 streams of Lilly Route left, which is honestly kind of surprising. It's a lot faster than I was expecting it to be. I was expecting at least like 3 more. The rest of 2, like, then maybe like 2 streams for 3, and then, yeah. We should have 1 if I recall correctly. Huh. We'll see. It's either 1 or 2 weeks, which means... Oh wait, no, I already have the Hanako thumbnail ready, so no big deal there. But that does mean I do need to get started on the 4th route. Which... who do I do after Hanako? Rin or Shizune? I'm not sure. Either way, they sure passed physics and will pass multiplication. Oh my god. You people are insane. That's all I can really say. Spoiler, but humoring Kenji makes the act 2 slightly longer. Ah. What happens? I'm actually kind of curious. I won't go back. Well, I mean, maybe I'll go back to do it myself sometime, but does he, like, show up at some point and say something silly? Well, I mean, of course he does. It's Kenji. That's just what he does. You actually do listen to him. Oh, okay. They will ace biology. Oh, God. They sure will, won't they? That was... that I don't know. That confession and everything else just kind of came out of nowhere, it feels. It's hard to get a read on Lilly in that regard, because she just kind of was like, boom, there it is, there you go. I wasn't expecting it. I have no idea what to expect for the rest of the act, by the way. So this will be interesting. This will be interesting. I'll be honest, I don't know if I know Lilly well enough to actually get the good ending first try. It might be a little bit difficult. It might be a little tricky for me to navigate that. We'll see, we'll see. Like, Emmy I was able to figure out pretty quick. But Lilly? Lilly is a girl boss. We'll see if I can do it. We'll see if I can do it. And then, when it comes to Hanako and the other girls, I'm getting to learn Hanako a little bit better now than before, but she's still a little bit of a mystery. We'll see, we'll see. Anyway, Thursday we got more bears in space. Y'all like bears? Is this a blind run? Yes. Yes, it is. Oh, there you go. I was waiting for one of those. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen a Lilly joke. I'm proud of you. At least the run isn't hot yet. No, that's apparently going to be the next one. I mean, and just speaking of runs, actually, this sounds weird now that I've said it. Anyway, speaking of the playthroughs of this game, I know that I know why there's not a Misha route, but honestly, the more we Hisao chats with Misha, the more I wish she was a route. Misha's just fun. I like Misha. Why is the point not doing its thing? I should add point to the thing. Noted. I suggest we should spam Flareon when orange is on. Oh. You're gonna need a lot of points for that. you know, I don't know if you got what it takes. I don't know if you get the points for that. Well, you don't, Stern, but others do. You're gonna have to beg them. Get on your knees and beg for them to give you your Flareon. Mm-hmm. Oh, believe me, I can have the points. Let's see. You've got 3 streams between us and the next. Well, actually, no. Actually, you got quite a few. You got this week and you got next week, probably. Just lurking every other stream. Yeah, lurk doesn't work exactly how I wanted it to. It seems you have to sort of be active in chat. You can't just plop down a lurk and then leave. That lurk will only keep you going for like 5 minutes. Which, I mean, I guess if you can only pop in and type in lurk, it's a good way to get some points, but I wish there was more I could do about it, but that's just how YouTube works. Yeah. I wish I could make it easier, but I can't. Worst case macro works. Do not set up a macro to... I don't know if you need to necessarily type in chat to show up. But don't create a macro to spam my chat. Don't do that. I will time you out. You will be timed out. I'll create a macro to go. Oh god. Set it for every 61 seconds. So that it always rings at whenever it's possible. Every 5 minutes. Oh god. You would theoretically have the points available to do that, because you get about 50 points every minute. Every 5 minutes you have enough points to do it. Do not do that, any of you. If I see that you're doing that, I will time you out. You lose points from battle. Yeah, but you gain more. You gain more points than you lose. Macro for fish bell every minute. If you did it every minute, you'd run out of points. But if you did it every 5 minutes, you'd make back enough points. But it could be done, is the long and short of it. Listen, if y'all start doing that, I'm gonna have to adjust the cost of Bell and make it more expensive so that that's not viable. And I'll have to time you out. So, just something to think on. What if I spam exclamation point like every 10 minutes? I don't remember what the timer on like is at, but theoretically you could do that. If I saw you were doing that, I'd still time you out, though. It's that shrimple. No! Can I get 1 point? How many points are you at? I'll consider giving you 1 point. What do you even want 1 point for? It's obviously to get you to a specific number. What if I spam expecting like carrying every 30 minutes? You wouldn't make enough because, again, if you type in chat, that only will keep you all set for like 5 minutes. So you'd have to still do something every 5 minutes and then use Flareon every 30. Also, you got a pretty good point total. I don't think I need to give you another point. It's a nice even number. I think now that we've used it for a while, I think the current point costs are good. You get enough, you earn enough points throughout a stream where you can interact, and you also gain enough that you can save up. Some of you are at pretty high point totals. And then you have Stern, who... I lost 6,000 points today. You've been counting? You removed me 13 points. Fuck. Wait, I don't think I actually can remove points. Can I? I don't. I can't remove points. Oh, no. I just thought of an idea, a points idea. I don't know how exactly I'd do it yet. What if I gave you the opportunity to gamble points on something? The tricky part is, I don't think I'd have a way to really do that automatically. As in, yeah. I'd need to set up a hotkey to either confirm or deny that you won the bet. You just want to end your note in 69. I can tell. We should get your gremlin laugh as a toggle. I actually had considered that. I'll probably make it a soundbite you can redeem. It's gonna spook the hell out of me when I hear my own voice rattling through my skull. Because you've redeemed that, but... Fine, you can have 37 points. I think I did that right. There. You're welcome. You now have the funny number on your points. There. Are you proud of yourself? I hope you're proud of yourself because I'm ending stream. Catch you on Thursday for Bears in Space. See ya.
Enjoy the lurk shadow eclipse and thanks for stopping by.